Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, guess what? You know what happened yesterday? I did not browbeat you when we were number 5 on the Rumble board, leaderboard. Like what? What's going on? Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Feels like something's supposed to happen today. What's supposed to happen today?
Oh, I got work to do.
You've got more backyard stuff to do? Is that going to be like every day for the rest of the next week?
No, I hope to have it done this week. I used the compactor yesterday on the dirt. Dug a little out.
Okay.
Put a little stone down. So today is going to be all stone, some sand. I'm hoping to roll out the AstroTurf Friday.
I'm excited for you. I think it's very cool. It's a lot of work. You know, whenever you start one of those projects, you're like, oh my gosh, what have we gotten ourselves into? That seems to be the way. I'm just going to say it.
Is it about your hair? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It was everywhere. It was.
I'm just going to tell you, look, I know I have super curly hair. I know I have wild hair. This stuff, Hydrolift, oh my gosh, you've got to try it. You've got to try it. I have no idea what it costs. I'm not going to tell you it's cheap. I'm not going to tell you literally, I have no idea how much it costs. They sent it to me and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. And then it went, poosh, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like, what does this do? It says it right here. Volumizing shampoo.
I'll be curious to what the hairdresser says.
I'm just going to tell you right now. That's not fake news. Volumizing shampoo, 35% off right now. Hydra Lift at Purence.com. Pure and then ANCE.com. Promo code Wendy. 35% off. Apparently, if you're tired of thin, lifeless hair, if you cringe every time you see another clump in the shower drain, then your hair probably needs more protein. I did not even think about protein in hair. I don't think about that. Just like our muscles lose protein as we age, our hair loses protein too. Super duper. This is what leads to thin, dry, brittle strands. And this is where Hydrolift Volumizing Shampoo by Purence might be able to help you out. I'm just telling you, if I'm a tester, I'm going to be like my high school graduation picture. There's going to be nothing but aqua net and hair. Hydrolift contains a wheat protein. It strengthens your hair follicles from deep within, and that transforms thin and lifeless hair into fuller and more resilient locks. Also contains ingredient from sugar beets, which draws water into the strands, makes your hair feel silky soft. Purence.com. Promo code Wendy. 35% off. Pure ANCE. This is what it looks like. Hydrolift. See, it bothers me because they're like, can you show it? When you talk about it, I'm like, you realize that means that I have to transport it every day back and forth from my shower, or you could just, send me several. Hydrolift. Anywho, what's going on, everybody? Number 5 yesterday.
I will have before and after pictures when I'm done. I have a before picture of when right after the winter time when what are those things called?
Gazebo?
Collapsed.
Yeah, your gazebo collapsed. We had terrible winds.
It was the snow. The weight of the snow.
Yeah, that was just flooding my house. It was just tearing apart your gazebo.
Yeah, tear it apart. It was like all hair was.
Yeah. That's like when you have a cabinet that's got all your china in it and it pulls out of the wall. You're like, excellent. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be a great project. I'm super geeked for you. I'm super geeked. I do have some battle wounds. I was noticing some bruising.
Me too. I have one on my leg.
It's like a couple days later.
Big.
Yeah, it's a couple days later. You're like, okay, ouch. But I'm happy for you. I think you're going to have a good
My
go.
shin looks okay.
Oh.
It's a little lumpy, but.
Barking your shin. That's what Joe's dad calls that.
What's it?
Barking your shin.
I barked my shin
Don't bark
twice.
Your shin. That is on the
same spot.
On the spectrum of Now, I don't have huevos, so I can't register that.
That hurts too. I got hit with those on Friday.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that was not me.
No, that was a baseball. But the throat hurt worse.
Oh God, yeah, the baseball to the throat. Was it a foul tip?
No,
or was it just
was
you
a
didn't?
bounce one where I went to block it, and you go like this to try to
Yeah.
make yourself bigger, and it went right under the.
So you're Adam's apple.
Yeah. So I got my hit in the banana and the Adam's
God,
apple.
that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
At least I know I'm a dude.
Well, there's that.
5.
Wow.
4. 3. 2. 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. It's a great honor every day to be here and to be able to talk to you freely for 3 hours. And I know some of the things we discuss on this program might be new to you, or you might be well more advanced than I am and sniffing around some rabbit holes and giving into my conspiracy theorist self. Look, this is common sense conservative values. This is not rocket science, and it's not surprising. It shouldn't shake you. It should make you feel comfortable and right at home. And if you're new, well, welcome to you, wendybellradio.com. If you want to follow along, we do the whole thing live streamed, commercials and all. We have wonderful sponsors, but better than that, we have you. And I am eternally grateful for that. So thank you and welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, it's interesting. I told you yesterday about my husband and myself saying goodbye to our youngest sons and basically having 4 of our 5 boys now, at least for the next 7 weeks, and then longer than that when they go to college, out of the house. And it's just this weird transition, and it's so odd how we work so hard. We're so focused on getting to that milestone, whatever it is. It's paying off the house. It's finally getting your pension, quitting your job, or retiring and doing something else. Maybe it's watching your children move on to their next chapters. It's just so weird when you finally get there, because nobody's there to be like, ta-da, welcome, you made it, woohoo. And you're sort of like, okay, now what? And I think that's hard for a lot of people. I was thinking about this over the weekend. I'm coming up on 2 years since my mom passed away. And I'm going to go out over the 4th of July weekend to California to spend some time with my dad. And I know what he really wants me to do is to help him go through her closet, which probably is going to be the most awful downsizing jobs I'll ever do in my life. It has to be done. And if I can be there to help him, he just got rid of all of her lipsticks a couple weeks ago. This is slow and it's difficult. You know, I thought about my mom. I was so lucky. I had a stay-at-home mom. I was never a latchkey kid. Remember that? If you're a product of the 70s, that was the big deal, because we really were among the first kids whose, I'll say, moms regularly, a lot of them were. My mom didn't. She was beautiful. Blonde hair, smoky gray blue eyes, the most photographic face with these cheekbones that just wouldn't stop. And in her younger days at Northwestern University, where she met my dad, no doubt she was a bombshell. I know, we're so similar, aren't we? I don't know. I got all my dad's genes. Thanks, Pops. Love you for that, buddy. But, my mom raised my sister and me, just the two of us. We never had housekeepers. We never had gardeners. We didn't have anybody who did anything. My mom did it, right? And we pitched in, and my dad worked. And that's the way it was. And it was a great partnership. And then I left for college, much the same way my sons, Bobby and Chris, in just a few weeks, are going to come home from their summer jobs and they're going to go off to college. And my mom's identity, being a mom, was kind of over. It's never over. But she didn't have a job. She didn't have a thing. She didn't have necessarily a skill or a passion or a hobby that she was super excited about. And I think that's hard for people. I think it's hard for people if they retire to just go cold turkey and all of a sudden just everything you always did is done and now you're just free. And I think a lot of people really fall apart. I think as my mom aged, and I'm walking in that chapter now, where you're upset that you're starting to show your age, but you realize this is the way it goes. You have to kind of go with the flow and do what you can to fight it as much as you can. But it's a fact that you're not going to change. I think that really took a toll on my mom. Her identity had been this beautiful woman. And then someday that's kind of over, What do you do when what you were isn't really who you've ever been? I look at a lot of people in our country right now, and a lot of them are acting in a very peculiar way. These things that this president and this administration are doing, from tariffs to taxes to innovation to manufacturing to ending all of these wars to closing the border and making things safe, picking up our cities, reinforcing this idea of working hard. I think there are a lot of people out there who are walking in that chapter that my mom was in, where you realize, oh no, what do I do now? And I'm going to tell you who these people are. These are the people who are about to fold when all of the truth that you and I have been suspecting for so many years, and some of you, so many decades, because it's going to come out. The players who have lied to us, who have stolen from us, who have done it year after year, who have enriched themselves, who've made bad decisions, who have injured us, but more greatly, injured this country. It's going to be game over for them. I believe that. I do. I'm not some wild, crazy dreamer with my head in the clouds, like, no. There is a golden age, ladies and gentlemen. It just started buzzing over the weekend with the end of this war, with the oil flowing again. Stock market hit 52,000 for the first time. Price of barrels of oil now dropped down to $77. People out there saying, well, I don't have money to get into the market. You know what? It took a long time for the Democrats and the deep state or rhinos on the right to work together to try to destroy what you and I love. And they've stolen so much from you, so much of your freedom, so much of your optimism, so much of your entrepreneurial spirit, so much of who you are that pumps through your veins like nobody else. They took that from you because they need you addicted and sick and desperate and terrified. and willing to do anything. That's not survival. That's death. Ladies and gentlemen, we're the cusp of this. What happened on the lawn of the White House with this UFC fight was a symbol of a change of governance. The people have reclaimed this country, and they've told this administration and this president, we choose sovereignty. We choose the American fighter. We choose the guy who built himself out of nothing into a warrior, into a champion. That's what that was on Sunday. Trump at the G7 now in Switzerland, he's relaying that message to all of those leaders. My people have spoken. Behold, the age of enlightenment and gold is upon us. I believe that. And if you've seen any of the pictures of the G7 leaders nervously looking at the president because he asked for their help to settle Iran in the Strait of Hormuz, and they didn't offer it. And it's very awkward now. So back to my mom. I think a lot of these people who've been running bad ops in our government and beyond, some of these deep state cabal folks that we didn't elect, but who managed to pull all of the strings, I think they know what's coming. And they're scared to death. All you need to do is listen to Gavin Newsom today, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, how's that for a little teaser-beezer beginning, right? See, Trump weaves. Did I just weave? I wove. You know I did. Okay, when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Harry Enton, he's greasing the skids for the Democrats. Yeah, they're just not that into you, right? I don't see you guys really taking back the House. What? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Oh, Chuck Juice. All right, so we drink two separate drinks for a reason. I like mine, he likes his, and there's no need to meddle with each other's stuff. I drank MCT Wellness from Dr. Gundry, Dr. Stephen Gundry, who about 20 years ago, after he lost 70 pounds, after he was doing a lot of research as a cardiothoracic surgeon, did a lot of research into weight loss, into the body. And he created this drink that is a dietary supplement that really just kills your appetite for several hours. So you're able to skip meals and not want to shoot yourself throughout the course of the day because all you want is a handful of Pringles. That's what MCT Wellness is. TheHealthyFat.com. I didn't realize that Dr. Gundry, when he lost all that weight, he said to his wife, yo, I'm getting out of this heart surgery business, which makes us gobs of money. And I'm going to start helping people help themselves. It's because of this. TheHealthyFat.com/Wendy. Okay. He's drinking Chuck Defense, Chuck Juice. This is Chuck Norris's drink, right? You know, nothing can stop Chuck Norris, not even death. His drink, Chuck Defense. What is it even called?
Morning Kick.
Morning Kick. Yeah. See, they have separate names and we call them separate things.
I call it Chuck Juice.
ChuckDefense.com/Wendy. Tell them how you like it. It's just delicious, first of all.
It is. There's now two flavors. I don't know if this is a new flavor. The old flavor, which is really good, that I drank 6 of, the strawberry lemonade.
6 cans. He's what he
cans.
meant. Yeah. And then they got the watermelon mint, and he was on the fence, but finds it extraordinarily refreshing, probably for the summertime. What a great, so a lot of people go outside and drink lemonade or what have you. Why don't you throw a scoop of this stuff in water, whether it be thehealthyfat.com/Wendy or chuckdefense.com/Wendy. You're going to get a nice discount on either. I love it because they're both, this one is a dietary supplement. So I don't eat. That 70 pounds, if you want 70 pounds to lose, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy.
I love it.
What does it say on the front of it? What does it say?
It says kickstart your day with these powerful ingredients designed to aid healthy digestion, which
Same
is
thing.
great. Support overall nutrient absorption and help you manage stress.
So this is something you do in the morning kick. Yeah, it's a great way to
Power
start your
greens
day.
plus probiotics plus ashwagandha. That must be good.
Yeah, ashwagandha. If you see that, you're like, I'll have 5 of those.
I actually, because Dr. Mike is big on nutrition, and I read that to him, and he's like,
That's a good
dude, that sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
I said, go to Chuck Juice.
Yeah, chuckdefense.com/Wendy. Good products and people who are super geeked about you getting them. I mean, do they make money? Yeah, but they want you. They want you better. They want you better. Legit. That's what this whole environment is that we've created here, I think. Got to look out for each other. That the party in power, the party who the president is, right? The party that is the president during a general election, the midterm switches to the other party, so the House changes. And it's supposed to be this like checks and balances, this ebb and flow. What it's become, however, is when the Democrats are in charge, they're either prosecuting, investigating, impeaching, or what have you, Trump or his allies, or they're ramming across expensive bills that make up your taxes and get you nowhere, right? There's that. And the Republicans, I think, just don't do much of anything. I don't know which is worse. I would take the Republicans over the Democrats and how they run things. But Harry Enton's like, look, if you're expecting the House to flip because the Republicans have everything now, because that's just the way it goes, I'm not so sure that's the way it goes. Because if we look at past midterm data with a GOP POTUS, right, got a Republican president, they've shown a much bigger advantage than polling suggests for the Democrats so soon before the midterms. Listen to Harry Enton.
So what are the warning signs here?
Yeah, I think the warning sign is this. Democrats have an edge, but compared to what we see historically, it's really not that big of a lead. I mean, just take a look here. Okay, this is Congress National June polls, Dem leads, and this is NBC News, midterm years with the GOP press. Look at this. They're up by 5 points, but that's half the lead they had back in 2018 when it was 10 points, and less than half the lead they had back in 2006 with 11 points when Democrats took back the House in both of those years. And now the Democratic lead is on a single hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And it's this type of lead where you say, you know what, Democrats are ahead, but don't count your chickens just quite yet.
Which leads me to the question that's very simple. Like, why would you vote for Democrats? What have they done since President Trump took office in January last year? What have they done? They've bitched. They fought for all the wrong people, illegal immigrants, gangbangers, murderers, rapists, and pedophiles, right? They pass out needles instead of saying, hey, we don't want 10 cities anymore. You got to get treatment. Get off the street. What are they for? For telling you that everything that Donald Trump does is a threat to democracy, that anybody who disagrees with them is a fascist or is akin to Hitler. And we're all supposed to believe that everybody wants more of that, the same way LA wants more of Karen Bass. Really? Anybody out there just think that's the dumbest thought process ever? I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. Harry continues. He says, look, this is an aggregate of polls. We're looking at like 5 or 6 different polls. And I like to pull them together to kind of give you one kind of banger of a percentage of something. He says this aggregate of polls is not showing a blue wave of any sort coming in November, even though Trump, we're all told again and again, the guy who got peace in Iran, the guy who's doing all this stuff in the world, right? His approval rating is in the toilet. This is what we're supposed to believe. Here's Harry.
So this is not just one poll in which we are seeing this. There is this group of pollsters that are out there that are just not showing the wave you might expect given where the president's approval rating is. Okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about NBC, Marquette University Law School, and Ipsos. Look at where they were January and February, and look at where they are May and June. NBC, down a point. MU Law, down 3 points. Ipsos, basically staying the same. So the Democrats hold these leads, but again, you have this group of pollsters that are out there where this lead, simply put, is not matching what you might expect if you're expecting a Democratic wave.
And then you've got to throw in that wrench called redistricting. You know, that's rigging elections according to Democrats, when in reality, the system was rigged years ago under voting rights so that there were black districts to represent black voters in very white areas. The Supreme Court was like, yeah, about that. We don't like that. Oh, outrage. Literally, Democrats, they're trying to rub rocks together to make something spark.
So you might say, hey, the president's approval is way down low. You expect Democrats to be way up high, especially given him in the record lows because of the Iran war not happening. And then you put in redistricting. Democrats in the National House vote, look at this, needed to control with redistricting. We really think the Democrats need between a 3 and 4 point advantage in the national vote. You average those polls together. We just on the last screen, Ipsos, MU-Law, and NBC. It's right on the border there. It's right on the border. It is no guarantee. It is far from a guarantee at this point, if you believe these pollsters.
Very tight. Now, what are the prediction markets saying about Democrats' hopes to retake both chambers?
Yeah, okay. So then you take a look. Okay, look at the Kalshi prediction market. Chance to win number terms. Look, Democrats clearly have the advantage at 78% chance, but that's far from 100%, right? That's a 1 in 5, more than a 1 in 5 chance. Republicans hold on. You look at the Senate, the GOP still has the edge there. More likely than not that the GOP holds on in the Senate, according to Kalshi prediction markets. So basically, I'm putting out this warning sign. These are the warning signs, right? Yes, Democrats probably take back the House, but it's far from a guarantee, or we are not going to get caught like in past years. We ignore those polls that had those warnings.
You know, such a bummer about all this, because all these Democrats, everybody has to pay attention to the stupid polls. The same way you have to pay attention to the stupid fake news and the propaganda. It's ridiculous. If there was one person, one Democrat who came out and said, you know what? This is a major moment in not just American history, but in world history. For in 103 days, or whatever it was, President Trump and the American military took out the leading state sponsor of terror on planet Earth. And we are all grateful. Can you imagine if a Democrat came out and said that? If a Democrat came out and said, you know what, I'm happy to work with this administration so that we can all enjoy the whatever, this golden age. They can't. They can't. The progressives have the gun to their head. Resist. Even if he cures your mother's cancer, you hate him. It just isn't selling, and they just seem lost. Too bad. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, yes, it's official. Elon Musk is the world's first trillionaire. And how you respond to that tells an awful lot about you. I've got some examples. You decide next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
They should follow John Fetterman.
Like, he's like, if the president of the United States is asking me to come to dinner at his house, you know where I'm going? To freaking dinner at his house. Unless, of course, your whole objective for running for office was your own self-enrichment, was to become part of that swamp mess. But John Fetterman was always on the outs. He never had an inside track to these people. He's not like they are. He's just some goofball who's taller than everybody, is bald, and wears, you know, inappropriate outfits to the job. Like, okay, right? He's like the only one who hasn't been infected.
Well, he's the one, too, all for the Iran strikes.
100%.
And Pennsylvania, which is a purple state, which I think would be a great source for the Democrats to look at, he's polling well among Republicans.
Very interesting.
Poorly with Democrats.
It's super interesting to watch all of this. All right, Tulip Blooms. I'm going to say this one more time. I know I talked about Tulip Soothe yesterday. So I've been using a skincare product. This is just, you get one shot with your skin. It's like your teeth, right? After you get your adult teeth, you get one shot at those. And I want to take care of it as long as possible. When you start nourishing your skin and it starts absorbing what you're putting into it, and then all of a sudden it feels like it's velvet, you know you're doing something right. Tulip Blooms is a very sweet husband and wife really smart with chemistry and essential oils, and sort of like an apothecary mind. They understand scent profiles. They understand the medicinal value of certain herbs and extracts and what have you. They've made a phenomenal line of skincare oils and butters and balms that I'm in love with and I use every day. One of them is called Tulip Soothe, and it's kind of interesting because you take it out and it's sort of like solid, and you put it in your hand just a little bit, and you go like this, and it literally melts in the heat of your hand, and then you rub it wherever it's on your temples, your jaw, your neck, your lower back, your fingers. I get arthritis there. And then in 15 minutes, you'll forget that you did it. You'll smell a very slight, it's almost a eucalyptus-y, very slight, if that's even it. But then you find your pain goes away. Yeah, very, very light, very innocuous. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. My name gives you an extra 10% off. Do yourself a favor. Do dad a favor. It's probably not too late for Father's Day. Tulipblooms. Dads like to be soft and nourished too. You see how they take care of their beards. They like hands and feet that are soft too. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. Or like Brock said, buy some of the massaging oil that I love so much. And I don't use it for massage. I just use it because it's phenomenal nourishment.
And rub it all over the ladies.
There you go. Give a squirt to your husband and be like, how you doing? Right here, right there. How about you do that? Anyway, I love our sponsors. Well, how are you guys? Let's see what you're talking about today. Oh, stop it, Darius. That's terrible. Darius said it was chipmunk approved.
I don't know.
Soft feet.
It was dead.
Oh, shush.
So,
first of all, that's so wrong that you would take me there. That's
maybe
conduct.
she has stanky feet.
That's conduct unbecoming.
Stanky feet killed a chipmunk.
That's what it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I had no idea they like to burrow up into bed sheets and die at the base of my feet. So
who here has killed a chipmunk with their feet?
See, that's fake news, though, because we can't confirm nor deny. I would have known if there was a moving object in bed with me, and I would have freaked out.
No,
Joe was freaked out. I'm like, wait a minute, you're the dude. You're supposed to go get him. And it was me who had to do it. Did I ever show you the picture? I did, didn't I? It was going to take me 45 minutes.
It was like this, if I remember correctly.
No, you know what? You're such an ass. You're a man child. Whatever. Go be a man child.
Well, hey, I didn't kill a chipmunk.
I wish we were doing weekends with Wendy on Sunday, because Leah Prida has sent me, and frequent flyers on the stream know Leah, sent me very interesting link about all of these things changing and the messaging of it, and Flag Day, and then the UFC fight and the G7 and all this. It's all very interesting. It's all very comforting, right? I'm very comforted when President Trump is in charge. I'm on pins and needles when it's a Democrat. I don't believe anybody. They're such a hateful bunch too, which is unfortunate.
They're always angry.
Lots of anger. And
yeah.
and there are some people who might watch this show who are Democrat. Probably not. And if you're not a miserable grouch, then I'm not talking about you, but everybody else I am. There is a lot of comparative stuff.
They hate everything
that they like to do,
They celebrate nothing.
Juneteenth, Friday.
Not even their diversity that they love to claim they do. They don't celebrate diversity because they hate you. If the only diversity that they love is their diversity. Diversity of thought, they hate. They're just
believe the science, Brock. Trust the science. I usually hate everybody, so it's a Tuesday. Slow start. So Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire. Good for him. Good for him. You guys, have you ever started something out of nothing? How many of you have created your own lane, whatever it is, whatever your jam is, whatever your skill, whatever your innovation, whatever your risk. You didn't just sink in money. You didn't just roll the dice. You didn't just cut and save and scrimp and borrow and beg and make it happen. You had to keep doing what to it? Reinvesting back into the original idea to get it bigger, to grow it to scale, and then go back and hire new people, reinvest into it, and grow and grow and grow and grow. Elon Musk didn't become a trillionaire on Monday because the planets aligned and there was a lightning bolt. He did that. That guy, him, he did. Good for him. Good for us. I mean, think about it. Dude has resuscitated the U.S. space program. Say what? He was part of the whole Doge thing that opened our eyes to the grift that is USAID, Act Blue, and everything else in between, all the NGOs, all of the money laundering, all of the fees and the unnecessary everything. Without Elon Musk, we'd be like, the guy bought Twitter. He exposed Twitter that had been infiltrated by the government to control what you and I were allowed to see and say. All the while, the people doing that wrapped themselves in the First Amendment as though what they were doing was sacrosanct. Really? Really? Elon Musk is working with Neuralink to help people who are paralyzed to be able to walk. I mean, like, oh yeah, and then there was that weird thing that he did where he completely invented America's electric vehicle market and completely changed the world. Like, why isn't every climate alarmist out there like celebrating naked in the streets for Elon Musk? Because he voted for Donald Trump. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes. That's it. Disqualifying. Scarlet letter suck. Elon Musk. How do you know this? Well, I want to play for you just a little exchange. I've not heard in a 5-minute exchange. We've broken up into 7 or 8 segments. I've not heard such a gamut of crybaby, miserable, grumpy, jealous lefties. And then Scott Jennings and this other guy named Brad Todd, who is a Republican strategist who also makes some sense. But the others, they either use racism or sexism or the place is rigged. Everything's rigged for the rich. And it's like, really? You guys see Elon Musk partying a lot. You see him out and about. He's in Hollywood a lot. He's out seen in the Style magazine. He's always popping champagne with those really, really beautiful models on yachts in the middle of the career. Oh, that's right. No, he's not. He's either with his mom at the White House or he's got his little boy X on his shoulders. That's Elon Musk. And when he's not doing that, he's inventing crap. God, I hate people like that. That's what Democrats say. Make sense of that to me. Audio soundbite number 1, the CNN panel really does a beautiful job of exposing the bitterness and the jealousy of liberals whose currency is just one thing. It is the spiteful hatred of people who seem to be enjoying their lives and who also voted for Trump. Okay, here's Cassie Hunt. She's the news babe. She's just stunned by the number of zeros now in Elon's new net worth. And listen to how she sets up the panel discussion like a typical liberal check. Here we go.
Absolutely eye-popping amount of money. The world's first trillionaire. The question that I keep coming back to is whether we in America are experiencing a second Gilded Age. The first one, of course, caused ultimately backlash that gave us the 40-hour work week and a lot of our labor laws. You are seeing on many sides of the aisle the divide between someone like Elon Musk, who has $1 trillion, versus half of Americans who don't have $1,000 to patch a hole if their car hits a pothole and they got to take it to the shop.
How do you think that is, Cassie, whatever the hell your name is, news babe? Because you vote Democrat. Because if you live in a Democrat hellscape, your taxes are through the roof. Are you kidding me? How is it possible that he can be so rich when so many people can't do one simple thing? She's a news babe. She's making at least $250,000 to $500,000 a year. Why is she sitting there lamenting what everybody else has? Shut up. He's a trillionaire. Good for him. So this is where Sochi Hinojosa comes in. She's kind of triggered sometimes, and she takes the, but what about everybody else cry to a much bigger scale. In your mind's eye, just imagine Scott Jennings has his arms folded across his chest, and he's just sort of smiling, watching them devour themselves in their own sanctimonious do-goodery of idiocy. Listen.
What is the political kind of ramification of this? I mean, covering Bernie Sanders' campaign, Sochi, he would rail against the millionaires and the billionaires, and now I guess he's going to have to add the trillionaires to the lineup.
That's right. And
singular.
Our country is for innovation and success. I think where the big question is our economy working when we have just produced a trillionaire, but there are 330 million people who are not there and falling further and further behind, and with wages being stagnant?
Why does it always have to be a comparison? Why do you have to not enjoy your success because there's somebody you don't know who doesn't have it? Why can't we celebrate you without making the people who don't have all of your money feel bad? This is the emotional suck of the chickification of the Democratic Party. Oh, my feelings. My facts don't give a rip about your feelings. So if you could check those at the door, we'd have a very brief conversation on our hands, no? So then Sochi continues. She's like, look, Elon's become a political power broker, and we liked him a lot more when he wasn't a Trumper. Oh, okay.
Elon Musk is someone who gives money to politicians, etc. Now you have someone that has even more access and more power to influence American policy because of the money that he has. And I think that is what's extremely scary right now, is now he can give money to influence our election and also the policies that Congress put in place. And I think that is going to be a big problem in the next few years.
So, you know what's a big problem is that y'all stole the election in 2020. You were ready to do it in 2016. A lot of us have big questions about 18 and 22. And we're on to you. So cry me a river about that one. And by the way, what about Reid Hoffman, George Soros, those Code Pink wackos, Neville Singham, and all the people who fund the indivisible No Kings whack jobs? You don't think they have political influence? How about Big Pharma? How about the hundreds of millions of dollars they spread around to influence lawmakers on Capitol Hill? Is that not political power brokering? Because it kind of seems that way to me. And then comes Scott Jennings. He's like, look, isn't it odd that nobody is connecting Elon's net worth with the actual work that had to go into it? It's like he woke up all of a sudden and put his hand under his pillow and the tooth fairy had left him a check that had 12 zeros. I don't even know. What's a trillion? Is it 12? Let's listen.
So I love this Elizabeth Warren video. So you have a multimillionaire sitting in the back of a limo screeching about someone who has just a little bit more money. It's a joke.
A little bit more money?
Not a little bit. I take your point, but not a little bit.
It's a joke. He's not a... Do you believe that he has $1 trillion physical dollars?
His net worth, obviously.
I mean,
it is not liquid. That is correct, Scott. It's not liquid.
And why is it not? Because he's building a company that employs thousands of people, and several thousand of them themselves have become millionaires. You know,
why are these people on this panel bitching about anything? They're all on a cable program, news program, national program. They're all making buku money. You guys, Newsmax threw stupid money at me to do virtually nothing. These people are making buku cash, and they're sitting here butthurt that Elon Musk could buy and sell each and every single one of us. Why doesn't anybody say good for him? Why is it always negative? Why are they always jealous? Why does it turn into that? Why does it have to be an if not but then? Why does it have to be an us versus them, rich versus poor? Because the only thing that's missing right now is the whole black and white thing, right? Well, that's upcoming. Let's get to this fella. He's Brad Todd, Republican strategist. He calls out the left's hypocrisy over the green climate nonsense and then dumping Elon because Elon made friends with Donald Trump.
most liberals in America care about, they say, about climate change more than almost anything. Before Elon Musk introduced the Model S and Tesla of 2012, there had been 17,000 electric cars sold in a country of 300 million people. He literally invented the American electric car industry as accepted by the customers. He saved the space program. Most Democrats say they love science. It's crazy to me that he's become the whipping boy when he has single-handedly accomplished so many things that Democrats.
Wait, can I just?
Oh, wait, can I just jump in just one more time? So she jumps in, the liberal chick, and she's got a personal story. Oh, yeah? You think Elon and that space program are so great, Brad? I've got news. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be this damn easy or enjoyable to make fun of people. But she's like, oh, yeah, I live close to where SpaceX is. And let me tell you, they're not very nice neighbors. Listen.
I'm from Brownsville, Texas, where SpaceX is. He has trashed our beach and our community. And the city of Brownsville, Texas, I'm telling you, they are not picking up the materials at a beach where is that most people, lower income, it is one of the poorest cities in the country. And now they can't go and enjoy their beaches because you know what he's doing? He is trashing them. So don't give me this about climate change or anything else when a city like Brownsville, Texas is hurting.
Did you hear Scott Jennings groan in the background? Oh, see, this is why we're going to have a precipitous drop in the birth rate because nobody wants to hook up with a toxic liberal chick. Nobody. I have 5 adult sons who could, and they choose not to. You're miserable, and all you do is bitch. Oh my gosh. Well, let's have Jamal Simmons come in, the black guy on the panel. He's a former communications director for VP Harris. What do you think he's going to complain about with Elon's new $1 trillion wealth club?
Yeah, I'm not mad at anybody who makes money. This is America. People who want to make money. What I'm mad about is people who don't get to make money. Right? There's so many people in America.
Right. It's like, great for Elon Musk to, sending rockets to space, right? The American dream, fine.
Yeah.
But the difference between where and how these people live versus the way most Americans are currently experiencing life is very different.
Yeah, and I think most Americans, many of them celebrated Elon Musk making money. So they thought that was a very big deal. But again, where I'm from in Detroit, Michigan, $40,000 household median income. That's not enough to really raise a family on. Women who are trying to raise money, 2% of women founders are the ones who get to raise money in the capital markets. Among black women, 0.34% of black women are raising money. Donald Trump made more money in crypto last year than all black founders combined raised for their companies. That is the kind of thing I think we've got to change in this country so that everybody gets to participate in this great American renaissance that you guys keep talking about.
Everybody gets to participate. There's not some like equal outcome, guys. If you're an American, you have an equal opportunity to go do and be whatever you want to be. Now, if you want to make excuses because it doesn't work out for you, that's on you. Finally, Scott Jennings, do we have time or do you want to go to break, Brock? Want to go to break? I can't tell what that meant. Okay, we're going to go to a quick break. I went a little long on this, but Scott Jennings does a beautiful job. He pulls it around and he's like, look, you guys are all playing every single card you always play and you're not winning the game. And here's why. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. But there are people out there who are starving in China. Oh, then I shouldn't go buy my new car. But somebody in Detroit doesn't have water. Well, that's a problem. We have to talk about that. But I'm still going to go out and do what I was going to do. So don't try to tell me I should pay your taxes because I make more money than you do. Go out and get a better job. Get yourself trained. Get involved with something. You know, it's interesting. I have a friend who does the same thing I do, was a television person for many, many years. And I always was doing this or that and this and that. And she was enjoying vacation and got all of these holidays and was a part-time worker. And I remember looking at her and being jealous. I was like, God, I wish I had more free time or what have you. And I'm like, No, I don't. Because if I wanted that, I could do that. But I want to do this. I want to create this radio thing. I want to work my butt off. I want to make it happen. I want to serve you guys and give you something special. Like, I'll work holidays for that. I'll work weekends for that. Hell yeah, I will. You know, there's a different ideology there, a different mindset. We ought not all make the same money and have the same stuff because we're not the same people. Right? Right. Simkovich Concussion Institute, 412-366-3700. I just think it's important when you hear this, write down this website is Simkovich concussioninstitute.com, 412-366-3700. It's important because it might not be today that you need a concussion expert, that you need a guy who fixes people without needles, without blood, without you being hurt, with his hands in your soft palate, manipulating you. He's done amazing things for people to give them their lives back. 412-366-3700. I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't a thing. I just wouldn't. Aren't the women so interesting, though? The woman, the two chicks, and then the other gal, or whatever. It's like,
I don't understand how you can't be happy for someone.
Or how about this? Not have an opinion, or just not, like, walk by it. Like, honest to God, it didn't impact me. I saw that it was going on, and I'm happy for him. I am. The dude he's a genius.
I wanted to buy into it.
He's a genius, and he's going to do things that bridge that gap between us and what's been going on in the galaxies for billions of years. And we're like, we don't know about it yet. He's going to be like part of that conduit where that gate opens up.
Be skeptical of people in your life that don't celebrate your wins, because
those aren't friends.
Mm-mm. Friends are the ones that celebrate your wins, and your losses telling you can win. It doesn't make sense to me why you would.
My dad always used to say that. He's like, one person's success does not take from another person.
No.
Like, these are not like, there's only so much to go around. And so if I really knock it out of the park, well, then there's very little left for you. That's not how it works. And we all know this, except the left. I don't understand. There's always something to be angry about. And I'm like, this doesn't impact you in the least.
I had a friend get a huge bonus. 6 figures.
Wow, that's nice.
And I'm like, good for you. He's like, what? I'm like, good for you. Like, why would I not want you to succeed?
I just swallowed a huge air bubble, so I'm going to. Scott Jennings, you know what? I hope they pay that man 7 figures, because to sit around with these people who are so myopic in their views, it's like, it's all racism, it's all black stuff, or it's all LGBT trans gay stuff, or I'm a huge climate person, it's all green stuff, or whatever. Get out of that silo. Knock it off. You're so annoying to be around. Nobody likes you. Stop. And he says this to the crew at the CNN desk, bemoaning the fact that not everybody can have $1 trillion like Elon Musk. And Scott Jennings does this.
What does Elon have to do with any of that? Are you saying because Elon Musk exists and is a wild success that is somehow to the detriment of all the people you're mentioning? Elon is creating an environment where entrepreneurship, where success, where building is celebrated. The only reason anybody's mad about this, let's just be honest, is because he supported Donald Trump for president. If Elon Musk had never gotten involved in politics, had never supported Trump, he'd be getting ticker tape parades right now for building this amazing company and sending rockets into space. It's all political, and the people who should love Elon Musk are the ones who hate him for that reason.
But do you agree? You've got to see Elizabeth Warren sitting in the back of her whatever Lincoln Town car that's being chauffeured. She's in the back seat. She's finger wagging. What a travesty. Elon Musk, he isn't just rich. He's the richest of the rich. And I hate that. Listen.
Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire. Think about that. We're living at a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy. And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history.
Oh, Liz, really? Elon didn't get $10 million from Big Pharma. You did. Oh, what? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not trillions. She continues, the system under Donald Trump is gamed to benefit the rich by giving them monster tax breaks.
This is not just some fluke. It is a feature of a rigged economy. Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill cut health care for millions of Americans to give guys like Elon bigger tax breaks. The tax code rewards CEOs for firing workers and replacing them with AI.
What is she afraid of? Is she afraid that her role in this giant cabal is all coming out? Is this like the last stand, the last gasp? And then she says, so the rich get rich. By the way, the effective tax rate, Jeff Bezos and people like that. Jeff Bezos paid $2.7 billion in 2024 in taxes. $2.7 billion. At what point, at what rate is effectively fair, Liz? And so she says the rich get richer and you at home can't pay your school debt.
And we are left with a country where a handful of billionaires at the top pop champagne in their $300 million yachts while working people take on even more shifts to try to pay off their student loan debt.
Why is there such great student loan debt, Elizabeth Warren? Right? Because you guys got into the business of selling really bad investments to young, stupid kids going to college who didn't know better. And you preyed on them and you saddled them with $200,000 of debt. So before they even started in the life that they wish to lead, they are now bogged down by a mortgage payment for the rest of their lives, essentially. And for what? You know, of course, that's why tuition these days is $40, $50, $70, $80,000 or more. It is the biggest grift of all grifts. And so for Senator Warren to clutch any pearls there as she's being chauffeured along in her driven town car is mighty, mighty rich, isn't it? It's truly amazing when you see people's true colors come out, because all anybody needed to say about Elon Musk becoming the world's richest man again is, I hope we can be more like that. Congratulations. When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio program, peace is poison, my friends, to people who use war as a shield. I'm talking Iran. What's going on there? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Every single thing is a grift. Pharmacy is a grift. Illness is a grift. Education is a grift. Obviously, everything healthcare is a grift.
You got to hear me go off about when she said about the student loans.
Well, yeah, I get it. It's, yes. All right. So I know I talk about it every day and I will continue to talk about it every day because it works for me every day.
What did you say on the way in this morning?
I said, I will take it forever. It's absolutely changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. I'm doing physical things that I have never done. It's just stupid. And to the degree that my 64-year-old trainer recognizes it, she's like, wow, you're doing great. Blood flow 7, nitric oxide. It's no secret sauce. It's just relaxes your blood vessels. So more blood flows through your body. And when more blood flows through your body, holy cow, does everything change. Your focus, your clarity, your sharpness, It changes. Your ability to walk long distances, to walk up and down hills, rocks, and other things that normally would gas you, totally changes. How much weight you can lift or carry. You'll notice it with silly stuff that used to tucker you out. Sometimes things in the yard, raking, can be a bear. It can cause you to be like, oh my gosh, I don't stop. You know what you notice? First of all, more energy. Unbelievable. More stamina, more strength. You don't crash in the afternoon. You don't feel the need to take that afternoon nap. But what happens is at the end of the day, you sleep like a rock. Absolute boulder. Lights out. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. It is all of that. It is all of that. Love, love, love it. Literally, if I didn't have it, I'd be like, mm-hmm. All these people bemoaning Elon.
Judith Lamb. Judith Jamp.
Okay.
$10 says she's richer than many of our voters. Very telling.
Yeah. Yes. Well said. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not.
If you just, and you and I don't know, are we talking about, we were talking about later this morning about the student loans when we were talking about student loans?
Mm-mm.
Think of student loans. You'll hear it later in California with Act Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Student loans, the government, you can't get out of them. So they're funding the schools so the schools can function, right? And then you have to pay the government back at a usually 4 to 5% interest on a student loan. On a $200,000 student loan, it's almost double by the time you're done paying. But don't worry, they'll let you forbearance. They'll let you skip a few payments if you want. And it's such a scam. It's such a scam. And if I'd have known what I'd known back then, and they forced all these people, they kind of demonized community college. You don't want to go to community college. That's where
it's horse. It's horse paste.
Yeah.
You're not a horse.
Yeah. That's just community college. Meanwhile, community college, if now I know, a lot of the people who teach at community college are professors at the universities.
Uh-huh.
So you're getting the same education. It's just a huge, huge grift that they're still making money off these kids, and you can't get rid of them. You go for
Not
bankruptcy.
the kids, the loans.
What's that?
You said you can't get the kids, and then you're like, you can't get rid of them. And I know that you weren't talking about getting rid of the kids.
No. You can't get rid of the loans.
Yes,
file for bankruptcy. They stay there. It's a huge, huge, huge grift. We did the thing on a $200,000 loan. Like if you were to take what your payment would be each month for 20 years,
$737.
$750 was the number we used, and put it under your mattress, you'd have $225,000 in that same amount of time after working. And that's if you put it under your mattress. That's not even compounding like your student loan interest. That's predatory lending.
This is something I want to say to you guys. Yes, of course. And the government takes a dip into that the same way California dipped into a lot of stuff. So if you're waking up stiff and feeling like your body is working against you, is that you? And maybe you're eating well and you're trying to lose weight, but the scale won't move. You probably want to hear there is one nutritional gap that ties all of those symptoms together, and most doctors never bring it up, right? After 30, your body loses collagen every single year. And the collagen is protein that keeps your metabolism running. It keeps your hunger in check, your joints cushioned, and your skin firm. Most collagen supplements are loaded with fillers and ingredients you can't even pronounce. Native Path is one ingredient, grass-fed collagen peptides, nothing else, third-party tested for purity, one scoop in your morning coffee. It dissolves instantly and you're done. Thousands of customers report less joint pain, better skin, and real weight management support. I think that's what's kicking in for me. We've been doing this several months now. I think we're the kind of 4th month. And I kind of think that's the secret sauce zone. GetNativePath.com/Wendy up to 45% off literally every day. And I'm just going to say, I think that it's actually starting to work for me. I'm beginning to see muscle development and changes in my skin and what have you. And I am not in pain. I'm just not. And we should be after I dug up Brock's whole yard. China.
I didn't see you shoveling stone yesterday with me.
No, I wasn't. Mm-mm.
Be doing it today too.
Don't overdo it.
Wow. Thanks for the helping hand.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
It goes back, I think, to election night. They didn't expect Trump to win, and they weren't prepared for Trump to win, and they're still unhappy that Trump won. And I think Washington establishment, both parties, it's a small club, it's elite. You can't get in it because you want to get in it. They don't have a clubhouse. But Trump would never be admitted in this club, no matter what he did. These guys have been running the country. It's donors, it's think tanks, it's the whole Washington media, the whole establishment. Trump's an outsider. They have been managing the country, ruling the country for however many decades. They can't afford for an outsider neophyte to come in and redo everything, fix things in 3 months, fix things in a year, show that it can be done, show that an outsider can do it, show that what they say can't be done can be done. I think they're petrified, and they're all united, Republicans and Democrats, it's not just the Senate, in making sure that Trump, the outsider, doesn't succeed with his agenda.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. I'm listening to Rush Limbaugh speaking at Open. And what he says is so true. It's about the outsider. Donald Trump was the outsider. They made fun of the outsider leading up to that election in 2016. They had no idea about you. They never paid attention to you. They didn't listen to you. They didn't care about you. They didn't go out into the community to hear from you. They had no idea that behind closed doors, people were talking and they were sharing ideas and sharing viewpoints. And from that shared experience of being shafted so many times that 63 million Americans changed the course of American history and saved the United States of America from destruction. And you can be like, wow, that's kind of a leap. I don't think so in the least. I think Trump had to lose 2020, so you and I had to see every day the truth, the ridiculous stuff, the Joe Biden who couldn't talk, who wasn't available. The idiotic press secretary, that chick, who represented everything embarrassing about low IQ DEI box checking. Every cabinet member fit some LGB or DEI category. It wasn't because they were really good at what they did. There's a reason why there are like 8 billionaires on this president's cabinet. I'm going to go with because rich people know how to make money. They don't like to lose money, and they like to make other people money too. Those are good people to hire. If you didn't do what you did in 2016, or if you didn't vote for him, but along the last 10 years, you've gone through what we've gone through, you started to pay attention. You realize that these aren't just elections. These are trajectories. And there are always a couple different ways we could go. If not for you, there would not have been Trump. There would not have been any of this, which is why they hate you so much. So let's talk about what's going on in Iran, because we should all be celebrating this crowning achievement of this presidential administration, this pivotal, cataclysmic moment for the world, if it's actually going to work. Because you know what? The Iranian clerics, the people there who use religion and what have you as an excuse for terror, what are they going to do now if they can't do that anymore? Sort of like my mom, as I was telling you in the monologue, a beautiful woman, and then someday you're not as beautiful anymore. You look your age. What do you do then if that is much of your identity? If you're a radical cleric and you're used to killing people who you disagree with and creating bombs and killing people all over the world and arming these little proxy terrorist groups, Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, fill in the blank with your favorite H, when you can't do that anymore, like, oh no, now what? We're retired. Now what are we going to do? Well, there's a dissident group in Iran. This is, this group that's been fighting for peace and for the people of Iran for more than 50 years. And the woman who's in charge of it, this is the National Council on Resistance of Iran. And she's welcoming these emerging, memorandum of understanding, if you will, aimed at ending the hostilities. But she also wants President Trump and whomever the people are in Iran who are meeting with Pakistan to seal this deal. Hey, don't forget about we the people. They kill us. They starve us. They punish us. They don't care about us. You want to talk about a telling tale about the future? I think the countries of the world only look at Iran to know what a slippery slope looks like. She's saying you have to, in this agreement, you've got to protect us. Because that's the only way the Iranian people are going to be able to rise up. They don't have weapons. They're not allowed to have guns. They have to be able to rise up and do what they, as a country, decide to do. We need to get the goons out of the way for that to happen. And that's what this president has done. JD Vance breaking some, debunking some bogus crap, because there's nobody in the media who can be like, job well done, Mr. Vice President. What an exciting time. So JD talks about rumors of these hundreds of billions of dollars that Iran is supposed to be getting from us. No, we're not. We're not giving him anything. No, we're not. And JD has to go on television to say this so the fake news can hear it from his own mouth.
The Iranians are saying that they're going to have access to a $300 billion reconstruction fund. True or false?
Well, Ed, that's the sort of thing they could have access to, funded by the Gulf Coast Coalition, so long as they honor their end of the obligation. I think that one of the things you're going to see, Ed, and people have to be skeptical of this, is that the hardliners in the Iranian system will overemphasize the benefits that Iran gets while underemphasizing all the things that they have to concede and all the things they have to provide in order to get these benefits. So we absolutely are open to the Gulf Coast countries investing in the reconstruction of Iran, but only if Iran ends their nuclear program, ends their enriched stockpile of material, and is really open to an inspections and enforcement regime that gives the American people confidence they're never going to have a nuclear weapon. So I think the dance you're going to see, Ed, which is going to be interesting, is the Iranian media, especially the hardline media, they're going to talk a lot about what they get without talking about what they give. It's important for all of us to correct that record.
This is what we have to do. We have to go on live television, tell you the deal is so strong that you've got the neighbors of Iran who've all lost like $1 trillion collectively in this whole shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, saying, you know what, we're going to invest in the survival and the rebuild of Iran. You've got skin in the game now. You ever wondered why Section 8 housing is always run down? People who get free housing don't take care of it. If you've got to pay a rent or mortgage of some, if you have ownership in something, what do? You tend to take better care of it. And you've got all of these Gulf countries saying, yes, we believe in Iran. We're going to help them rebuild. Are you out of your ever-loving mind? And there's nobody in the media who is like, congratulations, America. You freaking did this. No. It's a ridiculous deal. It's an embarrassing day for America. Oh my God, how much money did Trump get off of this deal? They should have stayed with the JCPOA, whatever the hell that thing was called, right? Right. JD then goes on with Sean Hannity last night. He's like, look, the American media are now parroting the propaganda coming out of Iran. That's how pathetic your news is, ladies and gentlemen. They want Trump and co to fail. They want America to come in last. They want all of you people who are not in touch with your white supremacy or your nationalism or whatever it is. They want you to suffer. And it's like, wow, what happened to you people? You're all weird. Listen.
What really bothers me and frustrates me and is unexpected when the American media literally picks up talking points and propaganda from the RAGC that has no support in the text of the agreement that we've actually negotiated and no basis in reality. This is good for the American people. The Iranians don't get a dime unless they behave and change their behavior. And this means that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, Sean.
When you
That's
say
why
they
we did
don't
this.
get a dime, do they ever get an American dime, a taxpayer dollar?
No. So number one, first of all, they never get a dime of American taxpayer money, ever. Full stop. Not even close. Okay. What we have said is there's a lot of economic benefit in the United States relieving a lot of sanctions and welcoming them back into the world economy. There's a lot of benefit there. Not American money, but there's a lot of economic prosperity that can flow from that. What the president said to them is, we want you to be a successful country. But for you to be a successful country, you've got to give up on this threat. You've got to give up on this desire to have a nuclear weapon. And if you do that, the United States is willing to have a much better relationship.
But when terror is the only thing you know, it's the only thing you understand, it is the crux of your power. How do you just walk away? Well, I guess that's it, Phil. No more uranium for us. That's right, Bob. It was fun while it lasted. We'll see. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, we got to talk a little bit about how President Trump broke Iran and devised a plan to get the buried uranium out of there. It's like a skyscraper deep. What? Next. It'd be helpful if I was on the right page. Sorry. There's so much to say there. But I mean, like, do you understand my analogy? Like if you've worked all your life and then tomorrow you don't work anymore. You have no appointments. Nobody's calling you. You don't have any paperwork. There's no emails to send, no schedules to plan. There's nothing you've got to worry about. It's just, it all comes to a full stop. How long do you think you last before you get really old in a hurry? People who keep their minds active, who are needed, who are participating in stuff. You can be retired, but you can do other things. People who don't make that transition, they don't last very long. These people tend to get sick or they just die young. I don't know how these mullahs, these clerics, these people in Iran who know one thing, and that's terrorizing people. How do you all of a sudden say, yeah, you know what? Probably shouldn't do that anymore. Okay. Now what do you do? That's what scares me.
I'm afraid to retire.
I want to tell you about Disinfect with Sniper. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Go to that website. This week, I would say, literally any day this week, you have a pretty good chance of getting it to your house for Father's Day. Whether it's Sniper, whether it's Knockout, whether it's Harmony, any of the organic fertilizers, it's the Hunt Chef spices,
They're on sale.
any of these things, whether it's the American flag. There's so many wonderful things to buy at disinfectwithsniper.com. Check them out. Check them out. And their shipping is immediate, which is baffling, but it is.
I don't know what I would do if I retired.
Yeah, you were out of work for a couple weeks, and I thought you were stir crazy.
I was.
Yeah, I didn't work for 4 years.
Yeah, but you were a mom.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
different.
but yeah, it is different. It is very different because it happened to be a very busy time in their lives. I mean, it's always a busy time in their lives, but it was kind of pivotal.
Yeah, I mean,
It was kind of
you
pivotal.
can
that I
only.
was there.
I love the golf and I love the fish, but you can only do it so much before it's like, oh, okay. I'd probably get a job at a golf course and cut the grass every morning.
I could find worse things to do than that.
Yeah.
I could plant tee boxes.
I'd have to do something.
Tend to the
I've
flowers.
been working since I was 13, so
Right, me too. Me too. Sunshine picnics.
paper route every morning.
That changed. When that changed, a lot of things about society changed.
Yeah.
You know?
Wrapping them, throwing them.
Now it's just, guys and beat up jalopies who play music too loud, who drop like the 8 papers in our neighborhood. Nobody gets it anymore.
No,
I used to watch the guy be like,
they're now Amazon.
and now it's like, and then they're gone. And you're like, really, one person, when my one liberal neighbor is getting the New York Times?
Oh, God.
I have a subscription to that, for you people. I do it for you people. And it's freaking expensive. It's so not worth it. That's what I should do. I should play that subscription game where you call it to cancel and they're like, but wait,
there's more.
What if we cut it back 50%? Well, only for the next 2 years. Okay. I love me. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, hush.
Don't tell me what to do.
It's nice to see people who share your enthusiasm, who understand the moment, what this means for the world, is getting this deal done with Iran. And then Trump's he's got to make a deal with Putin and Zelensky. And it sounds like they both are poised. Like, war is not cool anymore. We're done with it. You've it basically knocked out an entire generation of men. Maybe we can all look in the mirror and be like, for what? What'd you get? Get anywhere? Get more land? What'd you get? I don't know. I don't know what you got except a lot of dead guys on the battlefield. Trump is making this stuff happen. Jesse Waters on the 5 with Jessica Tarlov, who is just such a miserable liberal, right? She can't say anything pleasant. She's one of those triggered, emotion-based chicks who ruins this world. Sorry, it sounds extreme, but it's true. They're awful. It's true. And Jesse says, let me debunk this BS that Iran is getting all these hundreds of billions of dollars from U.S. taxpayers, because that's the only story the left has to run with.
I've been briefed on the deal, and it's pretty simple. You immediately upon signing, the Strait opens up, and there's no tolling, and there's no money exchanged. And you're going to get traffic probably restored within the next 2 to 3 weeks. What really made a difference were the airstrikes Monday and Tuesday, and Operation Freedom was covertly bringing oil out. So the Iranians lost all their leverage over the Strait. But the most significant part of the deal is that the Iranians have signed in principle to agree for the complete destruction and removal of the uranium. Right now, they can't get it. They have no access to it. It's buried a skyscraper's length deep underground. All 3 sites are inaccessible. And the United States is the only country with the technical expertise to be able to remove it. So we're going to remove it along with the IAEA, and we're going to destroy it, and we're going to bring it out of the country. And then and only then will there be sanctions relief.
Beyond that, Iran has to keep their goons, the Houthis and Hezbollah and Hamas, on a leash, or else this whole deal goes poof.
Also, they're not going to get any sanctions relief if they continue to fund terrorism. If Hezbollah attacks the Jews have a right to defend themselves, but they will not be getting any sanctions relief. So they have to keep Hezbollah on a leash. And we will maintain our military posture until they give up the dust. That is the deal. And all the details of the MOU are going to be released on Friday after the signing. And the bigger thing in terms of like a regional peace deal, all of these Gulf nations have agreed to invest $300 billion to rebuild the energy infrastructure of Iran because they've lost $1 trillion through the bombing and the blockade. And that's big because you're going to economically integrate the region. And when you have investments and Iran is investable, you're not going to bomb each other.
So Gulf nations joining together, sharing the risk, ponying up $300 billion in investment to rebuild Iran's energy infrastructure, which Trump specifically did not blow up its nucleus, Karg Island. Why? Because it would have had a ripple effect on all of the other countries. And finally, Jesse says, this is why all the Democrats and the miserable liberal media hacks like Jessica here refuse to give Trump the win on this deal. You can end wars without boots on the ground.
And it's a lot different already, as you said, from the Iran deal. We have Gulf allies invested. We have no sunset clause. We have the complete elimination of the uranium, so there is no enrichment. All of their leaders have been killed. 80% of the military has been decimated. And you're not going to have bribes. You're going to have them perform, and then they can get paid. And if this is done, which is going to be negotiated up front within the first 30 days after the signing Friday, this could be the crowning achievement of the Trump administration. This has been the thorniest foreign policy problem of the last 50 years? And this is a 47-year war. And if he ends it, that is huge. And it shows that you can win wars through air and naval blockades. And that's a big threat to the Chinese.
It really is interesting when you consider on that particular panel, the 5 on Fox, there's just one liberal usually, sort of like Scott Jennings is to CNN as a conservative. And the gal, Jessica Tarlov, is just... she's just angry. She's grumpy and she's tapping her toe and she's got her hands crossed and she's got this sour look on her face. And I wish there was a way we could go back in time and figure out where was that Big Bang? What created that as an ideology? What was it, a singular event? Like, no, there you go. Or was it just something that she had to be groomed over time through public education and liberal teachers? I don't know. I think it's a study we need to have. I'll get Fauci on it. Just kidding. You know, everything is a grift, ladies and gentlemen, even burning your community down. Spencer Pratt with the new video next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. You know what? I don't know how you guys feel. Do you look forward to climbing into bed and going to sleep at night? When was the last time, like literally you're giddy to get through the end of your day, have dinner, clean up, get the house ready for bed, right? Take care of the dog, get everything set up. When was the last time you were like, I cannot wait to get upstairs, brush my teeth, wash my face, and get into bed because my freaking mattress is amazing? When was the last time you said that? Did you say that ever? Because if you've never said that, Ghost Bed is offering you a 10% discount to try one of their mattresses. Like, you don't have to walk into stores anymore and pretend that lying down on a mattress for 5 minutes is going to make a good decision for you. You can read what all of the people say about ghostbed.com/Wendy, where they've got this cooling technology on every single mattress, every single model from the lower end to the super creme to the creme end. It's all got this cooling technology. So if you're a hot sleeper, you're going to love Ghost Bed. They give you 101 nights to try it. They say, try our brand. You're going to love us. It's so easy. And that's what the owner of the company is all about. It's made in America, family run, family operated, fabulous people. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. If it's been never that you were like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to just go slide into my sheets and go, night, then you need a Ghost Bed. And Cozy Earth is supposed to come back this week at one time, or else I would have moved right into Cozy Earth too. But I don't know what their discount is. I haven't seen it yet.
Oil's down to $75
That's
a barrel.
That's too lower than when we started the show. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What is there going to be to bitch about? How about this terror threat that was foisted, or rather foiled, I should say, over the UFC fight? Did you hear about this, Brock?
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to use drones that had explosives in them. And then they
force people towards snipers.
And then they were going to just knock people out like D-Day. Have it open up. Everybody runs out. And there was a family member who apparently heard one of the loved ones speaking of it. And so on June 10th, they alerted the FBI, alerted the authorities, and it was supposed to happen on Sunday. Jesus. That's created by this liberal crap. Did JD, when I was gone, did he do anything on is it a Pittsburgh police officer or a Butler police officer who had been talking with Thomas Crooks?
No.
Okay.
Big show Friday, though.
What?
Juneteenth spectacular.
Yes. I mean, come on. For people who want reparations for like slavery, segregation, and whatnot, these people on the left do like to segregate. They do like to create their own silos of people.
Mm-hmm.
This is your little group. You're in the tranny crowd. You're over here in the climate wacko cloud. You're over here in the free Palestine cloud. You're on Team Mangione. You're over there. How about America? I'm all about America. War is a sad thing. It's all so unnecessary. I can tell you about Wendy Loves Gold. Let me tell you this quick story. So you know how Texas Bullion Exchange got a film crew here in the studio and then to my house on last Friday, because they're shooting a commercial and they want me to be the guinea pig of it. And I was like, that's fine. So we did that, yada, yada. But the guy from Texas who came in, the guy who's the production guy, told me that his grandfather, unbeknownst to his wife, had a bunch of gold when he died.
Oh boy, grandfather.
Grandpap.
Wow.
Grandpap had a bunch of gold for the grandkids. Guy bought a house. Got to buy a house.
Really?
With his grandpap's gold. Yeah.
That's why grandpap had gold.
This is one of those things you can pass down beautifully to other people. WendyLovesGold.com. I love Texas Bullion Exchange. I believe in this company. They have our values. They're good people. I trust them. And my work with them has been easy. They've been so easy. Can you imagine that, though? So you buy gold and silver. Maybe you never cash it in. Somebody down the line does, and it sure advances in value higher than a savings bond. That's what my grandparents used to get us, $50 savings bond. And you're like, wow, And then like 30 years later, it was $54.27.
Anybody
Right now.
looking to adopt a grandchild, I'm available.
That's right. Any of you who have big gold piles and you're really on the fence about wendybellradio@gmail.com, you can make a struggling radio host happy. How about that? You're the best.
Or producer.
Show going by so fast. Okay, so everything is a grift. I think you already know that. Even burning your entire community down. I wanted to know, what was the big rub about the Palisades fire? There wasn't any water. Why wasn't there any water? Sort of like Lahaina. Isn't that so weird? It's so weird. Weird, right? Like a total crematorium style fire. Everybody gets corralled onto the same exit ramps where that fire burns across, and it jumps then into the ocean. So weird how that works. Huh. Where was the water? There wasn't any water in Lahaina. The guy in charge of the switch was like, yeah, I don't really feel like it. Sort of like California. Why are you diverting all of the Sierra Nevada water into the Pacific Ocean? Well, there's this really important critter. It's called the smeltfish. It exists multiple other places, but it's a good reason for us to screw you, right? And leave you dry. Well, you would think that that reservoir, the Santa Ynez Reservoir, which is a fixture in the Pacific Palisades community. These are big things. They're 10 acres. So it's like you took a giant ice cream scoop and you went, and you took a big scoop out of one of the hillsides in the Pacific Palisades, and it's just monstrous. And then they fill it with water, and it's got a protective cap on it. The cap ripped, and the water wasn't going to be good anymore. And so they were supposed to drain it, fix it, et cetera, et cetera. You know, this is peak fire season in California, June through October. So guess what is empty in the Pacific Palisades? That's it. The Santa Ynez Reservoir. Are you kidding me? Would you be like white on rice getting that bad boy fixed under budget and ahead of schedule? Let's go. I don't have a whole lot of time to muck around with you people. No, it's still not. Spencer Pratt then does some digging. And he's like, why is it that in the Palisades during peak fire season, a year after we already lost 12 people in 6,500 homes, right? Why is it that the reservoir is still dry when you have people who work for the water and power departments in LA who are making $500,000 a year? And there are a lot of them. There's 100 of them. Like, what utility pays $500,000? Some of these clowns are making $700,000. While the Palisades has a dry Santa Ynez Reservoir, and they say, well, the cover was ripped, and so we're trying to get some estimates on that, like the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Well, it's going to take us 4 years and $400 million. Hopefully, if we'll get it done. And Trump's like, buzz that. I need it in 4 weeks and for like $14 million. Can you do it? Yes. Right? So here's Spencer Pratt. He drops this new ad. He's like, it's so interesting. He's at the beach. He's like, well, let's talk about water. Why do we have 100 different people in the power and water departments in LA making $500,000 or more, but we don't have any freaking water? It's one of those mysteries of life. And then you realize it's because they steal elections for Democrats. Let's listen in.
Look at all that water. You know, the LADWP has a combined water and power budget of $11 billion. But where's all that money going? As of 2023, over 100 LADWP employees earned an annual compensation of over $500,000 each. 27 LADWP employees earn more than $600,000 per year, and 4 top-level LADWP employees earn more than $700,000 a year. But somehow these highly paid individuals couldn't find the funds to repair a $140,000 tear in the Santa Ynez Reservoir or get the Palisades Reservoir at Chautauqua online, despite being paid millions upon millions of dollars. The top level employees at the LADWP failed to do their basic job. At this point, we shouldn't be surprised. It's just like Newsom and all his friends and the nonprofits and the NGOs. They blow all the budget and the salaries, and there's nothing left to accomplish the actual task at hand, like having water for the town that didn't need to burn down.
Right? Well, where's that video? Who's talking about that video? Where's all the news coverage of that? Because, oh, he's right. 100 employees of the Los Angeles DWP, Department of Water and Power, earn more than $500,000 a year, about 6 times what your family makes annually. It's sort of like seeing a Somalian in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, driving by with no teeth and a Bentley. And you're like, huh, that is just, that's so weird. That's so weird that you're illiterate and you inbreed, and obviously you have no nutrition in your homeland, but somehow you managed to buy a Bentley. I'm sure that's all good, right? Why would you have Department of Water and Power workers making gobs? And it's not even workers, it's the fat cat administrators. Of course it is. And then they're like, oh my gosh, that's Santa Ynez Reservoir. You guys, there's a tear. Let's go fix it. Well, I don't know. We might have to get some estimates. This is peak fire season. There's no water. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And Karen Bass gets 4 more years? Do you guys think that makes any kind of sense whatsoever? Of course it doesn't. It's all completely preposterous. So here we go. Public records show dozens of employees at the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power received total annual compensation exceeding $500,000 in recent years, drawing attention amid the utility's multi-billion-dollar budget and its role serving millions of residents. What are we paying for? Why am I paying taxes? Because we don't have water. One of these things is not like the other. According to data from Transparent California, which aggregates public employee salary and compensation information, more than 100 of these workers had total pay above $500,000 in 2023, with roughly 24 surpassing 600,000 and a smaller number exceeding 700,000. These figures typically include base salary, overtime, and other pay components such as benefits or retirement contributions. Many of the highest paid roles involve specialized technical positions, such as load dispatchers, electrical distribution mechanics, and supervisors, where overtime can significantly boost earnings during periods of high grid demand. It's freaking California. The only place where you could pay the most on planet Earth not to have electricity or water and then be told, well, you voted for it. And don't you want more? Well, actually, I do. Now, could you just add a little cherry on top to this poo pie and maybe hike up our sales tax? Done. I mean, like, does this make sense honest to God, does this make sense to anybody out there? No. Of course it doesn't make sense. Right? So I asked Perplexity, I'm like, so is it true? Is the Santa Ynez Reservoir not filled? And it says, yep, it's drained again. It's currently dry. And it was like, well, why? It says it's to replace its damaged floating cover. The project cost to replace that, a cover, $19.5 million. By whom? For what? And it was emptied in April, and it's just been sitting there. They expected to return to full service, meaning water to be put into it in the fall at the end of the California fire season. What do you guys think could go wrong? Anything? I mean, usually nothing happens. I mean, like, I'm sure it'll be perfect. And by the way, LA Times, as lib as they get, people are pissed. They should be. LA Times headline: Palisades reservoir that was empty during the fire is dry again. Residents aren't happy about it. It's true. So it was notoriously empty during the 2025 Palisades fire. Now drained once again as crews replace its floating cover, to the dismay of area residents who worry that there won't be water available to fight wildfires. I mean, that's like Karen Bass, right? Karen Bass, there's, you get high wind advisories and other things. This is a really hot time of year. I grew up there, so this is what you would get. You would know what the air quality was. You would pay attention to the arid nature of the environment, and they would have wildfire awareness. Like, be aware. I don't know how you could miss one, but okay, right? The reservoirs were empty. And Karen Bass was bouncing to Ghana to get away from what was coming. It almost feels like she knew what was coming, because remember that interview we played with that one guy who's like the Nebby activist guy in the community? And he's like, Karen Bass, you need to understand that you've got problems and there's this high risk period of time. And she told him on the phone, he's got it on his phone. She's like, I'll talk to you about that after I get back from my trip. You'll understand better when I get back, and we talk then. And then what happened? Inferno. Like, come on. See, it's so deadly and injurious to innocent people. And if you tell the truth and have a common sense, well, why don't we fill up the reservoirs, right? Let's think outside the box here. I know I'm not an engineer, but I'm going to go with, well, it's fire season. We probably need to get some water in there. And they're like, oh yeah, you're probably a right winger. You're probably a MAGA extremist. Or you're like, no, I think kind of water is a good strategy during fire season, So there's actually another story about this that we're going to be bringing up here in just a minute. And it has to do with Karen Bass's own brother. Did you guys hear that he's suing LA? He's suing the county because his house was one of the 6,500 houses that burned to the ground. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm getting mine on this. This is ridiculous. But no, you should totally vote for my sister again. I'm telling you what, she's all that. Really, truly. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Spencer's all over it. He's doing what the media are not doing. He's doing what Nick Shirley did, right? This is not complicated. Water! And it's an odd thing. So it's this thing that looks like if you were to cut off the back tip of a football and open it up a little bit and put water in it, and it'd be 10 acres. That's what this Santa Ynez Reservoir looks like, right? And then they fill it with water, and then they have this thing that floats on top of it that's its cover. Now, isn't evaporation a big problem? I would think so. How does that? I don't know how that works.
have a question
It
for
doesn't
you.
really float my boat. There's not a better way, because Spencer Pratt was like, let's get some soak zones. Let's get some dip points. You have a pool, we're dipping into it. It's an emergency. What was your question?
Why can't they take, like, the winds are going to be high. Why can't they get those planes that go and scoop up water?
They were saying it's going to kill the fawn and the foliage.
Go into
It's burned now.
Yeah, I was going to the ocean, grab some water and drop it. Like, just make it moist or wet.
Yeah, it's like the most glaring example of
common sense.
And you mean to tell me that a bunch of
stops
people
fire.
from Somalia want to relocate to one of the colder places in America? Honey, let's go to Minnesota. I hear it's beautiful this time of year. I mean, like, said nobody. But that's where the grift was. But you're not supposed to say that. Bad person. Info.healthrevolution.net. Info.healthrevolution.net. If you are generally displeased with your health insurance, if you feel like you're paying for a bunch of jazz that you don't need, and it's kind of like your cable bill, you'd like to do more a la carte, info.healthrevolution.net. If you're under the age of 65, if you're moderately healthy, if you are on COBRA, if you're self-employed, if you're a gig worker, if you're newly bounced from your parents' insurance, this is for you. You create your plan, you determine your coverage, you pick your doctors, and you don't pay copays. Your premiums are cut by 30 to 60%, right? And there's no weird enrollment window that you have to hurry up and squeeze to get through. It's available to you when you're ready. 800-868 6187. Write it down because I predict in the next year Obamacare ain't going to be a thing. 800-868-6187. info.healthrevolution.net. Like literally. So they just, well, it's going to cost $19.5 million for this cover. Is that the only bid? Is that from your cousin Joe? Who's that? Where's the contract? Where, what? And then they bitch about Trump. He did a no bid contract. Well, all of your bids were $400 million. He came in at 15. Suck it. Am I wrong? Am I totally wrong? Am I ranting about something that I ought not be? You can drop it on me. It's okay. What's going on, D7 2B78 Rush? Hi, Stag. What's going on, Texas Martin Smith? What's up, baby? Hi, Sue. Sue Bones. Sorry. Hi, Yon Wayne. Hi, Rosebud. Hi, Vipers. Hi, Ruth. Okay. So it makes sense. Okay, thanks. Renee, Evan. Diane, what's going on, baby? I'm a little fussy about this California stuff. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, the Californians are somewhat like the Iranians. I mean, it's a huge stretch, but in the same kind of vein that at some point they're going to have to rise up and take their state back. It's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, you have a relatively apathetic political environment, I think, in California. I just do. I don't know what they're going to do. This is Karen Bass's brother, though. He's joining Spencer Pratt in suing Los Angeles. But seriously, his older sister should totally, or his younger sister should totally be reelected as mayor. Got it. ABC7 with a story about Kenneth Bass losing his home in the fires and saying, hell yeah, I want part of this lawsuit. Who wouldn't?
Court documents show Kenneth owned this Malibu property complete with a guest house, pool, and putting green. But from Air 7, you can see the main home is long gone. According to this lawsuit, first reported on by LA Material, the home is a total burn down, and Kenneth Bass experienced smoke inhalation and emotional distress.
The politics of it is very strange.
But Malibu resident Abe Roy, who lost a home in the fire too and runs a company helping families rebuild, understands why even the mayor's own brother would sue.
He's another resident who's endured significant loss and significant damage, and he has every right to go after and make this right.
Mayor Karen Bass declined our interview request today, but her press secretary says there's nothing new here. Mayor Bass has spoken of her brother's loss publicly since January of 2025. Thousands of people are plaintiffs in this action.
Wow, it seems so emotional, so connected. Like Karen Bass really understands what it's like to lose everything. That's right, because she doesn't. She was in freaking Ghana. LA Mayor Karen Bass is facing legal action from an unlikely source, her own brother, who has joined Spencer Pratt, thousands of other fire victims, in a sweeping lawsuit against the city over its handling of the Palisades fire. Now, this is where things kind of get interesting. Kenneth Bass, 78, and his wife, who lost their Malibu home in January of 25, are joining Pratt in a massive lawsuit against the city. The Department of Water and Power, who's now paying 100 employees over $500,000 or more a year, but there's no freaking water, right? For alleged negligence. Among the claims is that the Santa Ynez Reservoir, bing, 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 which holds roughly 117 million gallons of water, was empty when the fire broke out, contributing to low water pressure in some neighborhoods as firefighters battled the blaze. So that wasn't peak fire season when the Palisades Inferno destroyed so much property in Southern California. It is now. And the same 117 million gallons of water ain't there. And Karen Bass wants to be your next mayor again, Los Angeles. You know, how many different stories could fit this timeline, this, I guess, theme? I mean, think about COVID. Think about the ways in which you were failed, have been failed over just the last, handful of years. Don't you see we're forced to in such stark, vast ways? You can't turn away from a fire that burns almost 7,000 structures. But we have stopped talking about Lahaina. Do those people ever find their children? Because it's interesting, about 600 children in Lahaina kind of just evaporated. But we're told they're fine, I'm sure. They just didn't go back to school the next year. Maybe they just, maybe they just moved away, couldn't deal with it. Or maybe they all died. And then when you go and ask questions like that, it doesn't end well. It's so interesting when you think of places like Iran as being these just armpits of terror. And then you look at your own country and you see people with the same armpits of terror. And you're like, really? Maybe different games, different rules of engagement, but same outcome. Your suffering, your loss. It's disgusting. We're forced to see all of this in these stark, ridiculous examples, right? You're supposed to see the Knicks win and New York City devolve into a jungle of violence. It was wild, and the filth that was left behind. And then you go and you look at something like that UFC fight and all of the red, white, and blue and the national anthem and the flyover, and just feels normal and comfortable. It's just not complicated. And Democrats want you, or the deep state wants you, to think that you're wrong. That things have changed, damn it, and you've got to deal with it. We're not going back to the good old days, sissy. Yeah, we are. We're taking it back. Good old traditional family values, good old conservatism, good old American patriotism. That's the ticket. That's the golden age. That is the journey that we are on. And a lot of these players who've been making money off the terror and the sickness and the rules and all of it, they don't have any clue what they're going to do when this ride of theirs comes to an end. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, oh my goodness, hour number 3. The Newsoms, what? Under investigation? You've got to be kidding me. No way. Way next. I love how they're like, all right, I got to go to the bathroom. Do you mind?
Nope.
I just took out my thing, so.
Did you guys see the San Francisco 49ers Giants players not wanting to wear the Pride hat? It was Pride Night or whatever on Major League Baseball. And two of them are being, I don't know if they're being fined or disciplined or what that entails, for writing next to the Pride symbol Bible verses, because they didn't want to wear a hat supporting the gay pride. And now it says, just in, the Attorney General of Florida is now launching an investigation into the MLB after they worn 3 giant pitchers simply because they wore Bible verses on their Pride Night cap. What? When is it okay to force somebody to do something? What do you care if they have a pride flag on their uniform? And good for them for putting this on their caps. Good for them for standing up for what they believe. Major League Baseball better watch, because they have not arbitration. Their union is so strong that they have a monopoly, and the government could mess with them.
I feel bad for California.
I sent you a story that might be good for the end.
I will look at it. Thank you very much, Brock. GLP-1 Gold, you guys. If I had significant weight to lose, this would be my best friend. First of all, Juvenon is the company, and these are the people I trust, literally with my life. They have completely transformed my life. I feel stronger. I feel almost unstoppable. And I think in life, especially as you get older, attitude is a hell of a lot of it, right? This GLP-1 Gold is it gets your brain and your gut to start communicating again. And so you feel fuller faster. You eat less. Your body can empty out what's already in it before you're hungry again, loading things up. This is about $1 a day, $1 a day for a dietary supplement like this. I'll tell you exactly what it says. Let's see. This is all blood flow. Where is it? GLP. This is how you get to it. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. GLP-1 Gold. If you've been curious about the weight loss shots, but you're not thrilled with the idea of shots because you trust nobody, I'm with you. If you'd like to have the ability to lose rapidly, to lose weight, significant weight, but necessarily not as fast as you would on a shot, you want to make sure you can, have your elasticity perhaps keep up with your skin. GLP-1 Gold, 30% off right now. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Support your body's own GLP-1 response. No needles, no drugs, no prescriptions. Easy daily capsule with meals. Fits into a normal lifestyle. It's just not a big deal. You eat it, eat your meal. There you go. And then you know what happens? You don't eat so much. And when you don't eat so much, I know it's totally weird, you lose weight. I tell you what, if I could have help with anything, what I should do is take it at night. I should take it at like 6:30 at night before we have dinner, because it's also great for killing late night snacking cravings. And I'm just like, there's not a bowl of pistachios I won't plant my face in any way. I'm like, I'll have 4. Thank you. Yes.
People throw money at you?
Are they? Yeah. Hell yeah, you should. I'm so worth it though, aren't I? I don't even know what that means.
Can't see who it is.
See, you know what the bummer is? So this terror plot to blow up explosives-packed drones over the UFC thing and over the White House, what have you. I bet you people on the left are pissed that it was stopped. I think they would love to see anything that was hurtful to the president. You know, I don't get that. I don't get that anymore. Like I wouldn't root against my country any more than I would root against Elon Musk.
That's the thing. They're not happy unless everyone's miserable. They are the definition of misery loves company.
They want socialism misery. They want to spread it out. They want everybody to be equally miserable. Huh. It's an interesting thought process. I like it. All right, let's see. Your girl looks pretty today. Sandra.
Sandy.
Brock likes Sandy Smith. I've seen uglier chicks.
Well,
she's a pretty woman. That's a pretty woman.
I don't get to see her much anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you used to go home and this is what you would watch, huh?
Yeah. Not anymore.
Maybe we can convince them to change your schedule for you.
Kibosh on that.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, there is a new game we're going to have to play. And it's going to be the game called Listen to the Democrats Accuse Trump of Doing What They've Already Been Doing Long Ago. I mean, it's kind of a mouthful, but you get the vibe of what I'm saying. Everything that this guy has been accused of doing, they've done, right? Everything they tried to throw at Donald Trump, they've already done. And they're just trying to 180 rule it. Get away from me. No, it's not me. It's him. And they're just some people who are so lame, like Gavin Newsom. I mean, like, Gavin Newsom is being investigated now by the Department of Justice. What? Stop it. But he's such a great guy. Everybody loves Gavin Newsom in California. You should see the support, the bumper stickers, the hats. It's Oh, that's right. Nobody likes Gavin Newsom. He's a smarmy turd who's on some kind of drug that causes him to do a lot of this weird waving, moving, bobbing hands stuff like Hakeem, or is it Hakeem Jeffries or is that Cory Booker? I don't know. They strike me as the same sometimes. That's Gavin Newsom. He's being investigated. Why? Well, here's the thing. If you're gonna have a fundraiser, now I'm not a big fundraiser, but if I was one, and I was going to raise a lot of money for people who had just lost everything they had. The LA Palisades Fire Fund, Disaster Fund, right? Remember, they had all these bands come out. They had QR codes, donate here and blah, blah, blah. We'll get the money to, like, none of it went to the Palisades. None of it went to the Palisades, sort of like the budget of the Department of Water and Power in LA. They've got this monstrous multi-billion-dollar budget, but none of it goes to getting great service at a discount, affordably, reliably, at all. It goes somewhere else where some people are getting rich, but it's never us. That's kind of what I'm seeing going on here. Gavin Newsom created this, or someone did, with gavinnewsom.com as the email or as the web address. Some Palisades Fire Fund. Lo and behold, where did all of the money go? Gavin Newsom claims he and his wife are being investigated by the DOJ and accuses Trump of, quote, coming after him for considering a presidential run. It's sort of like what they said he did with Biden. Remember the phone call with Zelensky? Oh, yeah? He was trying to go after his political opponent. He was trying to go after his opponent for the 2020 election. And Trump is like, no, I just congratulated Zelensky on his election and said, you got a lot of corruption over there with a lot of people from over here. You should probably get down to the bottom of it, right? In a video posted to X, Newsom said federal agents have knocked on the doors of his family and his friends and even people who used to work for him. Oh, I don't know. Is that like Michael Flynn? Is that like Peter Navarro? Who else did they round up? Oh, they got Jenna Ellis, Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood. How much time do you guys have?
Who's your Christina Bob?
Christina Bob. They destroyed everybody in these people's orbits. Go ahead.
Eric Trump had how many?
114. What is that? What was his? He was indictments or charge. He's the most indicted person in America. And the guy said he's never even had a traffic violation. Got it. So Gavin, spare us your clutching of pearls. And now I'm going to have you listen to this, but it's really just so gross. I'm going to play the victim. I'm going to run for president, and I need you to know that they're being weaponized against me. We have so many things to fire back. It's not even funny. Here's Gavin Newsom. I could only stomach a few seconds of him. Sorry.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees. Not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president.
You know what? Gavin Newsom epitomizes the toxic college-educated white liberal chick. I mean, like, he really is her. It's kind of scary, my mean tweets. Gavin, the stuff that you're saying that's being invented against you, well, we'll find out, right? There are rules about that. You can't really do, like, kind of like Mar-a-Lago. Remember that? I remember that. That wasn't that long ago. That was kind of interesting, wasn't it, Gav? Right? They were going in looking for the binder, looking for some stuff that Trump had declassified, Crossfire Hurricane, that showed how everybody from Obama and Hillary to Brennan and Clapper and all of them and Schiff and Swalwell, you freaking dirt bags, all of the stuff, right? They were looking for and they couldn't find it. So what'd they do? They manufactured some evidence and put it on the ground. They printed out some papers that said classified top secret, right? And they put that down on the ground and they sent it out to the world to see. Oh my gosh, he leaves classified documents at the floor at Mar-a-Lago where anybody could see them. Yeah, those weren't them, but that's all right. And then what they do? Oh, they rounded up people like January Sixers. Right? Oh, and like that Mark Houck guy, the father of like 74 kids who they rolled in with long guns and the SWAT weapons and all the big tank, right? The big armored vehicle. All they had to do was say to the guy, hey, at 7 a.m. on Monday, would you mind going to Harrisburg? Because we'd like to interview you. But they didn't do that. They called CNN and the New York Times and got it all on camera, all for, oh, Gavin. Gavin, you've been in a bubble. He's been eating a little too much at the French Laundry, don't you think? Mm-hmm. He continues, though. I think he's got one more sniveling soundbite. What does he say? He's like, I punched Donald Trump. I took him on for being the scumbag that he is, and now he's weaponized the government against me.
He's coming after.
you're just a scumbag and your chickens have come home to roost. Let's see.
He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president, because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history.
Oh, okay. No, but okay. Right? And then there's something really weird. This California guy does some digging and he puts up a video. He's like, you'll never guess to where the California Palisades fire disaster website gets linked. When you go on to give some money, guess where the money goes, y'all? Listen to this gentleman who's doing a little Nick Shirley.
So Gavin Newsom has been caught stealing donations that should be going towards the fire victims for his own personal political fund. Let me show you what I found. So Gavin Newsom put out this website to combat misinformation called CaliforniaFireFacts.com. And when I went to take a look at it, it leads to Gavin Newsom's own website. And there's a place where I could donate. Now I'm looking closely at this. Look what you're seeing, right? Where is the donations actually going? Now it says it's supposed to go directly towards the victims, but check out who's managing this fund. Take a look at that, right? Who is processing this money? It's Act Blue. If you don't know what Act Blue is a political PAC for Democratic candidates. So in fact, any money that we donate in this so-called fund, a portion of it is going towards Democratic political campaigns. I didn't want to believe it, but this is our governor.
This is our governor. You've known it. He's a giant pant load. That's who this guy is. Let's talk about how it works. Look, this is like interest on student loan debt. People go to this website, that's gavinnewsom.com, and there's some payment fees associated with the fire disaster donations. And those payment fees sure can cycle tens of millions of dollars into Democrat campaign coffers every single year. And creating one of these campaigns is super duper easy. Listen.
How this scam works is actually very simple. Democrats set up a campaign for a cause similar to like what Gavin Newsom did for the Pacific Palisades fire victims. Then donors can go in, they can select those campaigns, and then they can make donations through that link that they provide. But here's the catch. Act Blue acts as the middleman, and they get a percentage, a 3.95% of every donation that's made. And over the course of all these campaigns and these donations, that comes to a lot of money into Democrats' pockets. If we look at how much Democrats make every year from these fees, they make $75 million a year just from people donating and using the Act Blue links. And look, during election years, they can make as much as $150 million. This is just on payment fees.
Isn't that disgusting? That's how pervasive it is. That's how easy it is. Oh, by the way, Gavin Newsom's wife, Jen, she's apparently pocketed over $3 million from her charity, whatever charity that is, for herself and her company over the past few years. Of course, according to a recent report, documents from the IRS show that Jen Seibel Newsom has been paying herself and her company, Girls Club, LLC, income from something called the Representation Project, a charity that fights against intersectional gender stereotypes. Oh my God. I have no idea why the Newsoms are being investigated. They sound lovely. Super duper. Great neighbors. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you know, the swamp knows there is no money in you being healthy. So they're pushing a bill to reduce all of the pharmaceutical cuts that the president and the most favored nations has lowered our prescription price. You got members of the Congress that want the prices to go back up. Why? Next. Shocker, said nobody. Okay, Healthy Cell. I'm just going to tell you, it's calm mood all the way. You know what's in calm mood, Brock?
Calmness?
No. You said it already today.
What's that?
You said it already today.
Ashwagandha?
Thank you very much. Yes, sirree. I'm going to read it to you.
Is that why they do that in Chuck Juice? Not to get you too pumped up?
Well, I mean, I think they, I might be lying. Let's see. Hold on. I know. I'm trying. Oh, here we go. Ashwagandha, L-theanine, magnesium. Those are awesome for relaxation. 5-ATP, GABA, vitamin D, B vitamins, saffron, and more B vitamins. So it's sense of calm, occasional stress relief, and mood balance. I'm telling you what, I have been this week, the last week or so, I've been taking calm mood instead of my focus and recall. And it's phenomenal. And I feel that I'm able to talk just as I did with my other one, but I don't know. I don't think that everything seems like such a nightmare. Things that are going wrong, things like we have a medical situation going on in our family right now, an extended family member who's going in for some testing and is going to need some surgery and some stuff. And I think everybody's really anxious about that, So, and I feel like I'm pretty calm, which is good. Healthycell.com/Wendy. Healthycell.com. It's the best. It's a microgel. It's the easiest way to get supplements into your system, and it's 165% more absorbed by your body than pills and capsules. I love it. Oh, Jen.
Apparently, Gavin Newsom or Rick Gurnell has said, "Shame on you, KTLA. The investigation into Governor Newsom started under Joe Biden, not Donald Trump."
I used to work at KTLA. That was my station, Channel 5. The business was dirty back then, too. This is one of those stories where I just had a cousin diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Like, these drugs and affordability matters. Why would you have members of Congress that want to bone you and make you pay full price or pay more than everybody else? I don't get it. Because they make money. And most favored nations, they don't make money. How much money is enough money? Like, what the hell? If that was my only motivator, holy moly. I just don't get it. Is this a really long segment or a really long commercial? No. Sorry, I could have been talking to you guys. Instead, I'll look awkwardly at you.
Yeah, that won't be weird.
Do you feel the love? Join forces to bring down the cost of prescription medications, hundreds of prescription drugs and generics in this country, so that you and I aren't footing the world's pharma profit margins. That's what we were doing. I mean, how many new billionaires were born out of COVID? Right now, if that's Elon Musk, rah! But if it's out of some pharma jazz, oh, that's so great. I want to read you this. I found it on Breitbart today. Actually, it slapped me across the face. And it says, this following content is sponsored by, so it's not quote unquote news, somebody, the Americans for Limited Government paid Breitbart to put this up on their website. So I was like, if you're going to pay for us to read something, what is it? And I want to read it to you. Washington loves a bill with a friendly name. The Medication Affordability and Patient and Patent, Integrity Act, now pending before the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Sounds like something every American should support, right? And then you read the text. The bill buries American inventors and innovators and all these new mandates, invites a wave of lawsuits, and gives foreign competitors a closer look at our most sensitive medical research. Oh, yeah, and it wouldn't lower the price of a single prescription. Then there's that. The bill forces drug companies to certify that every piece of information they give the Food and Drug Administration matches exactly what they told the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Trip over a technicality, and the FDA can block approval of a new medicine. A cancer drug could sit on a shelf over a paperwork fight between two federal agencies while patients wait. Isn't it amazing how Democrats are always about? Well, it's bipartisan, it's swampy. It's about gumming things up, bogging things down with regulations so you can never get the help that you need. Well, supporters claim the bill stops companies from gaming the patent system, but the law already handles that. Courts can and do throw out patents obtained through fraud, and federal regulators already have broad power to punish companies that mislead the FDA. This bill is a solution in search of a problem. Worse, it scrambles the jobs of two agencies that each work fine on their own. The FDA decides whether a drug is safe and effective. The Patent Office describes or decides whether an invention deserves a patent. Missing these two jobs, mixing them together, improves neither one. What it does do is hand competitors and trial lawyers a new weapon. They could tie up valid patents for years over filing technicalities that have nothing to do with whether a medicine even works. Every dollar a company burns on those lawsuits is a dollar that never reaches the lab. And then there's the national security problem. Communist China has made it official state policy to dominate biotechnology, and stealing American research is central to the plan. Right? Chinese hackers have targeted American drug companies for years. The CCP does not need to outwork American scientists when it can just raid their files instead. And the bill would make that raid even easier. Drug makers already hand enormous amounts of sensitive research data to federal regulators. The bill would force even more disclosure spread across more agencies and more filings. And every new filing is a new target. Do you see how they do it? That is the playbook Congress should follow. More competition, more transparency, fewer middlemen taking a cut between the factory and the pharmacy. The Medication Affordability and Patent Integrity Act offers red tape, courtroom fights, and a head start for Beijing. America invents most of the world's new medicines because we protect the people who take big risks to cure diseases. Members of the HELP Committee should reject this misguided bill and get back to reforms that put American patients first. Well, you know what Democrats are on this HELP Committee, the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee? Well, these are the Democrats: Bernie Sanders, Patty Murray, Tammy Baldwin, Chris Murphy, Tim Kaine, Maggie Hassan, John Hickenlooper, Ed Markey, Andy Kim, Lisa Blunt Rochester, and Angela Also Brooks. Which of those Democrat senators is also on the top 20 list for getting paid the most money by Big Pharma to their political campaigns? All of those names I just told you. All of them. All of the Democrats on this Senate committee that want to screw up the reduction of prescription drug prices are all in the top 20 largest recipients from Big Pharma cash. I know, it's such a shocker. When we come back, speaking of money, of course Zelensky wants to make a deal. He's getting squeezed. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Literally, if you look at what it says, you've got Bernie Sanders, the heir apparent, or the grand hierophant, I should say. He's gotten like $23 million from pharma. And then there's Raphael Warnock. He comes in a close second at like 14 mil. And then there's Elizabeth Warren with 10,447,000 reasons that
She's poor.
Yeah, she's struggling. It's all by their fingernails. Hang on by the fingernail, Brooke. Right? What have I forgotten? Kelly Morgan. I know Morgan's Fitness. Her merch sale continues, but the 90 Ignite program rolls on her website, moregainsfitness.com. And that is where you get to take control of your body. She says it's not something that happens overnight. You can take some weight loss aids to certainly assist you, but the actual work happens with the time you put into it. And so she teaches you on video the exercises that you need to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe one day on the weekend, whatever it is. So it's easy and you can do it in the comfort of your own home. Lose a lot of weight, lose a lot of fat, gain a lot of confidence. Moregainsfitness.com. MORGAINZ Fitness. Let us see. All right, what are we doing here? This is just one of those things that makes me go, There are a lot of things happening. Tulsi Gabbard leaving, dropping some bombs along the way. And I think it's worthy that we are all on the same page. I think it's necessary that we be there. Let's see how your rumbles are. Do we at least get to 2 yet? 2. We just hit 2.
Ugh.
4,300 live. Hi, guys. It's great to be with you. $445 on X. How are you doing?
Does the World Cup get played at your house?
Yo, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Something I never got into.
Soccer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge at my house.
All I do is during the summers punish myself by watching the Pirates.
Oh, gosh.
You know, first 5 innings, usually pretty good.
That's when you need to get up and leave.
And then the
That's a
bullpen
terrible
opens up, and
bullpen is dreadful.
so does the offense for the other team. It's like batting practice for their team. They don't take it before the game. They take it for the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th inning. God bless those soccer players. They run around all.
It is some truly amazing stamina.
Yeah, how many
And
miles
their
they-
bodies are pretty ripped.
I mean, you could put me at goalie and I'd probably still peter out. I bet they're all on Blood Flow 7.
If they were smart.
If they were smart.
I'm just saying, mom apparently isn't worth listening to, but that's cool. I think Ryan took one jar for a while and he necessarily didn't see that. I'm not certain.
I don't know if his age.
Yeah. I'm not so sure he was consistent. Like,
Are we keeping you up?
no, I just had this weird, I don't normally yawn with you guys. I feel like I need to hold my rock. Heart. You guys are
Broken heart.
Oh. Broken,
Uh-oh.
broken heart.
What's that?
Broken heart.
Did it break?
Little chip. Oh, it's cute.
Looks like a circle.
Yeah, you can't really see though.
Oh, there's the broken part.
No. Ow. Hold on.
Throwing hearts around. You're good.
Throwing hearts around. That's what I'm doing.
I should probably send that to Sandy.
Huh?
I haven't seen her in a while. And because you have it on there, I can't have it on in here.
Would you rather have it?
No. I'd be distracted.
Okay. Half a minute to go. Usually we have so much to talk about. I'm not really interested in talking to you right now.
Did you see the story I sent you?
No. Let me see. It's going to make me angry.
Yeah. Is that your angry face?
What?
Another rift continues.
That's program. Okay, raise your hand if you are like Brock and I, and you questioned every lousy dollar that left our United States and went to Ukraine. Okay, I'm not alone here, am I? War was very interesting. You guys, I never told you this story, okay? But I can tell you it because I don't work for them anymore. Brock will remember this. So I was asked to fly out to New York. Newsmax had asked me to fly out when I was doing stuff for them on the weekends. And I don't know if they were trying to test me out or they legitimately got in a bind, and Grant Stinchfield, who had a show, was going to be off for 2 nights. Wasn't it 2 nights, Brock? I think it was 2. I was going to be in New York, across the street. They put me up in a nice hotel and I was going to go in and do the show, yada, yada, yada. Well, this was right around the time of this war breaking out with Ukraine. And so it's wall to wall. Everybody's running around the headquarters in New York. They've got some very talented people at Newsmax, and they've got a lot of employees. So people are running around, and I don't know anybody. So I'm in this kind of green room environment where I'm waiting for the hair gal to figure out that there's nothing you can do with my hair to make it really look good on television. And one of the main anchor dudes in the morning shows said to me basically, so like they were all talking about, oh, Putin, Putin. And I was just sitting there. I didn't say anything. And so the guy said to me, well, what do you think? You are not talking about anything right now. And I was like, well, and it's only been a couple of days. It's kind of hard to know what's going on. I've usually never believed the narrative that's presented for war, but we'll see what happens. And he literally, Brock, do you remember? He was mad at me. And
yeah, Bob said you were a Putin puppet.
Yeah, he called me, Bob Sellers called me a Putin puppet. You must be one of those Putin puppets. And I'm like, no, I'm just not a bandwagoner. And when everybody's jumping onto the same narrative, and that's what you're going to cover, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's going to be this. Putin bad. He's evil. Did you see what he's doing to Zelensky? And then what did you see? You saw the Time photo shoot, remember? When they're supposed to be like going on. He's sitting on the steps of some, I don't know, building, and he's like got a serious look on his face, and it's in black and white.
Yeah, and you know, I think I can say so. I don't think it's proprietary information, but Newsmax heads went over and got their picture taken with Zelensky. So I could see why Bob would call you a Putin puppet because they all bought in hook, line, sinker.
Which is scary, right? Look, I'm no mastermind. I'm a mom. I'm a former and recovered television news anchor and reporter. I did it for 30 years. It's not like the most difficult thing in the world. I'm just going to tell you that. I know it's a news flash. But everybody and his brother, there was nobody critically like, wait a minute, let's tap the brakes for a second. This is all very new. It was like, and I was on the outs because I was the schmuck who was like, well, I don't know. Putin said some pretty interesting things about why he was invading. He said something about denazifying the area. He talked about biolabs and other things. What if it's not Putin who's actually the bad guy here? Well, can you imagine if I'd said that? Oh my gosh. I might as well have been fired on the spot. That's where we are. So anyway, I want to remind everybody, as Tulsi Gabbard is now with just a few days left to go in the final days as the director of national intelligence, and she's doing a banger job of dropping some nukes along the way, right? This is one of my favorites, that U.S. intercepted Ukraine government messages discussing plot to route money to Biden's reelection. I'm sorry? So we're going to use war. Of course, this war is a great grift. It's like medicine. It's like sickness. It's like education. It's like anything, right? It's a way that people who suck can make money off of others suffering. It's essentially what's going on. U.S. intelligence intercepted Ukrainian government communications discussing a plot to route hundreds of millions of American tax dollars earmarked for clean energy. Then President Joe Biden's 2024, clean energy in the war-torn country. I skipped a line. And move them to the United States to enrich then President Joe Biden's 2024 reelection campaign in the DNC, according to a declassified intelligence report summarizing the intercepts that were obtained by Just the News. So high-profile government officials in Joe Biden's campaign talking about funneling money through what? I'm going to go with USAID. Anybody? Bueller, you think we should do that? I'm thinking so. And we're going to go and we're going to pretend that we're going to be rebuilding some infrastructure that's been torn down in the battle in Ukraine. And yes, we're going to get people to sign off on this, and they're going to fall over themselves because, by golly, they already gave us $139 billion. What's a couple $100 million? Nobody will pay attention to that, except Tulsi Gabbard. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard recently learned of the intercepts and has asked the U.S. Agency for International Development officials to scour for records to see if the plot actually was carried out and whether a criminal referral should be made to the FBI. Gabbard's team has not found substantive evidence the intercepted allegations were thoroughly investigated during the Biden administration. Shut up. What? You mean to tell me that Joe Biden's own Department of Justice did not investigate allegations that there was funneled Ukraine aid money that was going to be laundered through some stupid green energy project of redevelopment to be then brought back into Joe Biden's reelection coffers? That was the guy that got 81 million votes. Why would he need help fundraising? For heaven's sakes, asking for a friend. Oh, that's right. Unless he didn't get even where close to 81 million votes, never won the first term, had no hope of winning a second term, and everybody knew it. And during the course of his 4 years, nobody was giving money to the Democratic National Committee. And so what they have to do? Well, thank God there was a fire recently. They could grift off of that. Just the fees of the fire disaster fund, right? We can at least get a couple $100 million out of that. You guys, in what world do you win elections if you don't have people organically giving you money? Well, you need to be accepting donations from foreigners, running them through Smurfs, right? As we've chronicled. But to directly benefit Joe Biden and Gavin Newsom's clutching his pearls. He's like, they're investigating me. This is weaponization. My man. I mean, like, Do you not think we've been watching all of the weaponization for the last 10 years? You twit who's on Adderall or whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know what the bejeebers he's doing. No wonder Zelensky is like 1-800 I love you over the weekend with Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Mwah, 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 mwah. You know, about that time I came to the Oval Office, you know, and I acted like I was a really big shot and I looked like a fool. I looked like Johnny Cash's stepbrother, right? His adoptive son. I was wearing my all black outfit. It wasn't very respectful. And then I called the vice president JD and I interrupted him and I acted really indignant. Yeah, that wasn't a really good look, but I'm ready now. I'm ready to make a deal. Why? All this stuff is coming out. All this stuff. We're told that the CIA raided Tulsi's office during the government shutdown earlier this year in the cover of darkness, right? Nobody was going to be around anyway because the building was shut down, but they raided her anyway. And then Anna Paulina Luna comes out and she's like, no, actually, I misspoke. It wasn't a raid. They just went in and had sort of a Tupperware party and it was really nice. Like, yeah, we had a great time. No, you took stuff. You want to take stuff. Because you don't want the American people to know, the people who are still dirty as stones, were part of Joe Biden's CIA, Joe Biden's Department of Justice, his FBI. They're still there. They haven't been carved out. They will be. I do believe they will be. And Zelensky is going to get squeezed. Trump has the Trump cards. He has the leverage, if you will, the same way he had the leverage with the Iranian wackos who want to just kill everybody. Oh, yeah, we'll bomb you into the middle of next week and without you knowing about it, suck out 100 million barrels of your oil. And then we'll go sell it on the open market, bring down the price of crude, and everybody can call it a day. And you'll be destitute living by yourself, and everybody will hate you. And you have no uranium nor any way to get to it. So other than that, what did you want to talk about? That's kind of how I feel what's coming. Trump has a call in, or Putin called. Putin called as well on Trump's 80th birthday. Hello, Donald. Donald. I think Trump and Putin work together a little bit more than you and I think. And I think that maybe, I don't know, I could be way off base. They might be working together on China. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But what was he able to prove with this naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz? That you do not need boots on the ground. You do not need to send in one more young soldier to take a bullet for something that they didn't do, fundamentally changing the rules of engagement. And everybody on the planet now who still thinks war is cool is learning there's been a very strong attitude shift on that. And you're going to be on the losing end. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, there's something interesting that Brock sent me in the last few minutes. You guys been following the monstrosity that is the Obama library? We talked about that with Mike McCormick yesterday. You might have to pay for some of it. Wait, what? You didn't vote for Obama, so you shouldn't. Well, about that. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. We'll see. I don't think that Putin is like the world's greatest person on planet Earth, but I have no idea. I don't think anybody who uses slave labor is probably a swell human being.
Well, I could see being upset with somebody you have biolabs and you're like, get rid of them.
I could see Trump and Putin teaming up together and stopping human trafficking. I could see Ukraine being a central nervous system, a Europe like kind of like an underground railroad. And I could see Putin being pissed about that. Stop it, Donald. And then what does Melania do? Melania writes letters to Zelensky and Putin talking about the children. Stop it with the children. It's just all kind of aligns like that for me, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. What do you guys think?
I mean, I wouldn't invite him to dinner, but
Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I just think that it's nice to have somebody in your back pocket. You know, if you need say you've got an estimate for a new roof, or you're getting new windows, or you're putting in a new bay window, a new front door, something like that, new big, beautiful window, call 1-800-NEW-ROOF if you're in Southwestern PA and get a second opinion. You want to get some siding, you want to change some stuff up, maybe get some new soffit and fascia, gutters and downspouts. Sexy, no, but it's expensive. Don't you want more than one opinion? Why wouldn't you call Ireland Contracting? They'll come out and give you an estimate. And they want to have a relationship with you. They're not like surgeons where they go in, cut in, bye-bye. Good luck with that. You can see rehab and it's not me. Bye. Ireland's like, no, I want you to want me back and to tell all of your friends about us. So they have a vested interest in our communities of being very good stewards of it. And they are. They're wonderful. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. So Rumble can't find the two ghost beds, or Chef IQs that I did
on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go find them today.
I know one was at the end and one was at the beginning.
Right.
You know. Plus, it'll just force you to go back and see how fabulous I am. I mean,
is that why you were telling me that?
No, I know that I did. And if I have to go back and find it, I can find it. It's not a problem.
I mean, you have such a busy day today.
I really don't. I don't have jack crap to do. And so I'm going to mill around and pretend that I'm just confused and dazed, but I literally don't know what to do. I could go to the driving range. I could go wash my car.
Ooh.
I could write more of my book. It's been a few years.
I got some stones you could move.
I have a title too for my book. I don't know if I'll share it with anybody.
Got some rock and sand to move.
No, I'm good. Thanks. It's Joe's half day, so hopefully he'll be home by 6.
Oh, good. So he could help too. Look, we'll have it done in no time. And when I have a heart attack halfway through, he can help.
When I have a heart attack.
If you don't hear from me, it's probably what I'm probably hunched over
clutching
the wheelbarrow.
your chest.
Clutching my chest.
Which is why you need to have somebody fill in for you. Right? I mean, if we're being honest.
Wow.
Did that escalate a little faster than you wanted?
Wow.
Stenographer Mike McCormick yesterday. Mike's job for many, many years was to literally transcribe everything whomever he was traveling with was saying, whether it was George Bush, Dick Cheney, Barack Obama, right? Or Joe Biden. And so Mike dropped this bomb on me. He's like, look, I was searching for the presidential library. And what did he say it was exactly, Brock, that was missing? It was communiques regarding Biden and something in particular. I forget what it was.
I thought it was the metabiota.
It was metabiota. That's it. See, that's why everybody needs to have an elephant. Thank you for that. So anyway, a lot of these transcripts, a lot of things that Mike worked on as a stenographer on Hunter Biden's role in this bio lab defense contracting nightmare called metabiota that ties in with the Ukraine war, with why Putin said he was invading. Now, all of a sudden, Tulsi drops this bombshell that there's 120 biolabs. They were telling us there's no biolabs. Oh, yeah, there are. In fact, there are 120. Other than that, everything's fine. Senator Paul, you do not know what you were talking about, right? When has anybody been wrong here? Well, now here's this nice slap in the face, okay? A report from Breitbart. Obama Center contractors, I guess that's the library, owed millions of dollars and a safety net to spare taxpayers hasn't been funded. What? Taxpayers could be left with a big bill if the Obama Presidential Center experiences financial trouble because its foundation is not yet established a promised $470 million safety net to guard against a public bailout. Typical. God, these people suck. This is according to a Fox News digital investigation of the center's finances as Chicago awaits its grand opening on Friday, this Friday, Juneteenth. Woohoo! The outlet's investigation published Saturday found that multiple contractors and subcontractors claiming losses ranging from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions on the project, with some alleging they remain locked in payment disputes and face financial ruin. Can you imagine being all jazzed? These are probably Black-owned, minority-owned contractors, super jazzed, getting this opportunity, this moment in history to lay whatever nasty concrete the face of this thing is or what have you. Oh, yeah, and then to get bent over. Sorry. Yeah, we didn't really ever have that money. Oops. In an agreement with the city of Chicago, the foundation promised to create the endowment. Essentially, the foundation, the Obama Foundation. There is no Obama Foundation. Nobody's giving, which is why they have to be grifting. God, the foundation promised to create an endowment, essentially a reserve of cash, as part of its 90-year sweetheart deal to control the publicly owned 19.3-acre section of Jackson Park for a one-time payment of just $10. You see how that works? See how that works? The foundation has deposited just $1 million into the reserve fund in 2021. It needs like $400 million, you guys. But the balance is largely not changed according to public filings. The shortfall is not the first chapter in matters not going as expected for the ambitious project, which also included handsome salaries for former Obama presidential aides. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me, right? Isn't this where Susan Rice comes in with like an $800,000 salary? Sort of like she works for the Water and Power Authority in LA County, where they've got, what? Multi-billion-dollar budget, like $12 billion budget, but no water. But thank God, there's a bunch of people working who are making $500,000, almost up to $1 million. It's almost like that's the plan. The Obama Library was originally estimated to cost $300 million before the budget was revised upwards to $500 million and then further up to $700 million. Now, in a financial disclosure form, it appears it's going to cost much closer to $850 million to construct the mammoth gray monolith building in the south side of Chicago in Jackson Park. It's fantastic. It's like everything they touch. This is it's a train to nowhere, essentially. That sounds fabulous. How do I get in on that? Well, just keep giving me money and I'll do absolutely nothing. How about that? Sounds perfect. Perfect. And yet we're told that Angelinos want Karen Bass and Nithya Raman, that they're dying to vote for Javier Becerra, the architect of losing 500,000 unaccompanied migrant children who got put with sponsors who nobody knows where they are or who they are. That California, just like all of America, loves what those Democrats are doing. Man, oh man, sign me up. And Harry greased it all for you at the beginning of the show, saying, I don't know, guys, it's not looking good for Democrats in the House. Now, why ever would that be? I don't know. We'll explore those ideas tomorrow, I guess. Oh, it's too much fun. They're just so dumb. I love you guys. It's been a great day. Thanks for being here. Peace.